Yes. Hopefully we're back, people. God knows what happened there, like, but don't know. Don't even know if anyone's still there, or I'm just talking to myself. You know what I'm saying? Hello, anybody there? Oh, got one back. I've absolutely no idea what went on there, like, at all. Am I back, like? Yes, Slim, am I back, mate? Don't know what happened there. You know, that was just strange because I'd just been talking about paranoia, and then I don't know whether that was my paranoia that fucked everything up there, because I thought you were all winding me up. I'm just trying to explain now, Big G. Yeah, yeah, that was weird. That was weird. The way you all came on at once, and you were all jokers. And I thought David got in touch with you backstage or something, like off the scenes, and said, right, I'm going to wind Moon up, and I want your help in that. And I started getting paranoid, shit like that. Fuck me. Fuck no. Either that or just some shit, just some like proper mad weed. Fucking hell. So yeah, so I'm on my phone now. Yes, docs. So it's going to be even harder to watch the chat, because it was hard enough on my laptop. Let's have a look. God, even putting a link out, it's going to be a mission here. Have a go. Right. This is the dodgy bit. I hope that's worked, like, right. Does that work? That'll be a bruisey bonus if that's worked there, because serious sausage fingers there. When you used to press yes, Davey 90. See, I went to highlight Davey 90's comment there when I went to press the laptop. Fuck's sake. What's this fucking shit I'm smoking here? Yes, Northern King. You've just joined at the right time, mate. Oh, well, I don't know if you missed all the other shenanigans, like, but yeah, this fella will tell us what's just gone on.
Nice to see
What's
you.
going on?
Nice. Windows have just sent out a mass update, so I wonder if it's updating in background, mate, and that's what's caused it.
Big G, you know what it is? I've been getting a comp every time I've turned my laptop on. I get a thing from Google saying you need to update from 8.1 Windows to a bigger one, because you can't get updates anymore, and I just haven't bothered. Then my mic's crashed there, and it's tried to find the update, and it couldn't, because I didn't recognise it.
Yeah, I bet it's something to do with updates, mate. That's probably the cause of it.
Yeah. I feel a bit like this fella. I feel as amateur as this fella.
What
You know what I mean?
happened?
I don't know. Did you put some sort of spell on me or something, Tim?
I did, mate.
It was weird, that, like.
What's that noise? Like a tumble dryer?
Oh, that's you, that.
What? Is it me?
No, it's me. I'm in bathroom.
All right. Yeah, that's all right. Am I echoing there now?
No, you're right, mate.
User getting me drop a paranoid. I'm thinking Tim Smith's in on it now. Definitely put some dark curse on us, you.
You know what? Crazy behaviour.
Crazy behaviour from Tim Smith.
Nothing to do with the moon.
You did a live last night, didn't you, mate? I missed it. What happened there, like?
Not a lot, mate. We've just done a little quiz. And that went pear-shaped.
Who was doing the questions, like?
Well, you had Andrew J. He started them off. And then you had OG Emma.
Yeah.
And then, what's his name? From Wales as well. Not Ministry. Right or Wrong, is it?
Right or Wrong. Oh, yeah. Sounded. Tyrone, is it? Tyrone.
That's it. That's the one. Yeah, he jumped on as well. Like.
Yeah, he sounded like.
Yeah.
So where did you get the questions from?
Andrew got them off Google, I suppose.
Because you know what's a great? Did you ever have Trivial Pursuit?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great game. That I was dead competitive in that. You know, I had to win, mate.
Yeah.
But,
it'd be good getting the questions out of them, wouldn't it?
Yeah, because they're endless, mate, and they're all good questions, and they're all on different topics and that.
Yeah, definitely.
So if you want to do it properly, I'll get the Trivial Pursuit out and that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Because you know those questions you can't really Google. Well, I suppose you could, but it's going to take time, innit, for people to Google it.
Yeah. So you were on for about an hour, were you? Was any of the boys in, like?
Yeah, there's quite a few Dowells in there.
Yeah.
Who else was in there? Dowell, you had Smee, you had Big G, you had Land Rover, is it? Land Raider or something?
Oh, so you had a bit of a mixture then. You had a bit of Andrew J's like crowd and a bit of our crowd, yeah. Thanks, one.
Yeah, it was all right. Like, you know, it's only an hour, but it was too late for me. Like, you know, I wish I'd never done it. Like, but it is what it is. Like.
So was there no technical issues? Like,
yeah, plenty of that.
It wouldn't be Tim Smith without the old technical issues, would it?
Trying to get the link out. It's just hard work, man. I don't know. It's easy.
Saying that, mate, I can't talk after what's just happened there the last half an hour. It's just padding my head right in.
What happened then? Because they were on the panel, but you couldn't hear them.
My microphone had crashed, right, on my laptop. And when it tried to update it, I couldn't find the update because I've been getting warnings every time I turn my laptop on off Google saying I need to update my Windows because it's obsolete.
98.
It doesn't recognise it. Yeah, the date is that age. Like they don't use it anymore. Google.
Yeah.
I'm probably the only person in the world who's still running Windows 8.1. Honestly, I'm not kidding.
At least it's working on Moon, innit? You know, that's the main thing.
I'm on my phone now, mate. My phone, trusty old Huawei.
Yeah, I'm going to get a laptop soon after Christmas. Like,
I was thinking, you know, like I've been banging on about a laptop, but I think a decent tablet would probably be all right as well because you can carry it about. You know what I mean?
Yeah, even Flavors. That's what Flavors uses, tablet.
Yeah, and his picture's perfect. He always seems to just touch buttons and everything happens, doesn't it? You know what I mean?
I got one, like, but she is old. Like, I can go on it, but it just keeps cutting out. Like, you know, if I go on a panel, like, I'm on there for a couple of minutes and it just die off. Like, you know, I got it.
Yeah, I think the update. I mean, they're getting better all the time, aren't they? So as soon as you like get one, the next day there's one better. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, there's some nice ones out there as well, like, you know, but the looks are nothing really, are they?
What's happening, boys?
What's happening?
What's happening, Timothy, lad?
All right, Darryl.
Don't be putting yourself down, Tim, lad. That live was brilliant, mate.
You reckon?
Was it a good one,
lad,
yeah?
I loved it, mate. Swear down.
I don't know.
Honest to God, mate.
Nice one, mate.
Lad, we done a quiz, yeah. Oh, mate, I was right into it. I'm, you know how competitive I am, lad. Honest to God, mate.
But
I got 6 points though, Tim. I was definitely up there in the top, like.
Yeah, I think
Definitely.
you won it. Like, you know.
You know what?
Know.
You know what, Tim? I think I did. You know, lad. I won't stop until I won that. You know, lad. You know that. That's why I kept asking for more questions. Lad, I kept asking for more questions.
It wasn't even like for a quiz. I just set a live up, like, and then that was a bit, you know. But I got a live set up now for.
Sean Wayne done well. Gavin, who's in the chat, he done well. Win some or lose some. His answers were too quick, but he was defo googling whoever he is. He was defo googling, lad.
Cheating, you mean?
Lad, yeah, because some of the answers were fucking freaky, lad, and you wouldn't have got it that quick.
I know what you're saying, mate. I can imagine it off a few people like a we do. You know what I mean?
Lad,
Cheating,
honestly. But
I think if you get 10 on the panel, if you could get 10 on the panel and do it just for the panel people. Because you can't.
Yeah, there's got to be a way around it, hasn't there, where you can't cheat. You know what I mean? Someone will come up with a format.
Well, lads, you just got to have real people in the chat, mate, that just won't Google. You get onto the ones that don't Google it, because all my answers, say my incorrect answers, I'd still put my answers, and if they're wrong, that's it. I won't have another go.
Yeah.
You know, then I'm fair as they come, mate.
Your nose getting bigger there, Daryl.
No, lad.
Come on, mate.
I like the competition, lad.
Somebody who's competitive. Very competitive.
Someone was saying in the chat that they got the answer before me. I was like that. Hang on, scroll in the chat. I got it first. Remember Gav it was in the chat, Gavin L. He was like, I got that. I went, hang on, scroll in the chat. I got it first, mate.
Yeah.
You were scrolling for as long as it took, weren't you, to prove that as well, weren't you?
No, lad, you got to be there. Watch it back. You give someone give a question and you put your answer straight away. If it's right or wrong, and then they'll wait for the first answer. And obviously, you're going to get loads wrong, obviously. But I mean, whoever was right first, it's there on the chat.
I was looking at the chat, like, and I was falling asleep, like, you know, it was a bit too late for me. Like,
well, Gav done well though, because he come in a bit late, so Gav got 3 in a row, and I said, all right, though, it doesn't matter, lad, because I'm still leading to 6-3.
So the OGM's questions, I don't know, that was like,
oh fucking hell, mate! It was like off Bede Station.
Right, because I missed it, right, and I feel left out, right. I want you to hit me with one of the questions. Hit me with one of the questions and see if I get it right. Then
I can't remember any of them, mate.
Well, we can't fucking say Miss OG's Emma's ones. Fucking hell, lad, it was filth.
Hit me with the worst one. Hit me with the hardest one, Daryl. One that you thought, oh, this is a bit of a toughie, but I'll still get it. But I don't think we'll get it.
It's remembering. Okay, so trying to remember the ones that I know, or
anyone you want, any single question you want from last night, mate. See if I get it right.
Okay. Mind you, there was some mad ones, wasn't
What's the currency of?
What's the currency of Poland?
Poland.
What's the country?
What's the currency of Poland?
The currency of Poland.
Yeah.
I know this one because I know Polish people.
And do you know what? I can't remember the answer.
I remember the answer. I got it wrong, but I remember the answer.
Oh, good.
Is it?
I remember putting euro, me.
No, it's not the euro. Like,
no, I got it wrong.
Is it the? I think it's a dollar. Is it a dollar?
That's why you'd got no points, because people put an answer straight away. You'd have took in a week. No, it's the zloty. Zloty. Yeah.
I thought he played for it.
Yeah, Adam, here's another one which I've just remembered. Where would you find? What city would you find the Spanish Steps?
Oh yeah.
Okay, now.
I know, lad.
You know what I said? You were the hardest one. I was only joking, you know.
No, lad. These are all like cooking. Honestly.
Were these in the mediocre? Were they just mediocre ones? Like, was the better and better ones?
You know what, mate? It was. Do you want me to give you another one? Then fly. What fruit? What fruit is on the top of the Wimbledon trophy?
I should know this, because I love Wimbledon. Oh, it's my favourite, but I think it's a rare. You want to say strawberry, don't you? But it's not a strawberry. It's a rare. It's a lemon.
No, it's a pineapple.
Oh, you bastard! I was close.
Oh,
yeah.
Same shape.
Yeah.
Same shape.
Well, that's what I mean. That's what my memory is unbelievable, lads. You know what it is. So I remember what animal is on the sign of the Ferrari?
That's a Mustang, like a horse. It's a horse.
Yeah, a horse. Yeah, the horse, mate. Well done.
Know me Ferrari
Horse,
shit,
lad.
mate. So was it are you saying it was a nearly tie break, but you on a look back, you won it?
It was basically general knowledge, and whoever gave the answer first. And done about 20 questions, 25 questions, and I got 6.
Were you on a panel, or were you on the panel, or?
No, he was in the chat.
I was in the chat. We had about 20 in the chat. It was brilliant live, Tim. Don't put yourself down, Tim. It was brilliant, mate.
Tell the truth, Darryl. When you were sat there listening, right, the live waiting for the next question, rocking on your chair, right?
Lads, it's whatever comes to you in your head, because you've got to be dead quick.
That question goes, did you jump up and say the answer straight away before you typed it?
No, typed it straight. You do both, don't you? Type it and say it. You've got to be dead quick, mate. You've got to be quick, because there was some clever one.
Some of the answers were fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah. As I said, yeah. Especially when you had Sean Wayne and that. Sean Wayne's, Sean Wayne, he's clever. So you knew that anyway. So there was all mad questions as well, like that. There was crazy ones, which this win some, lose some, was getting them straight away. Like, Al Capone questions, or when did the United Nations start? Straight away, he's putting like 75, or you know what I mean? It was like, that's dodgy, that. Yeah. And it was actually 1945. It was, but he put it after about 6 seconds, and I thought, fuck off.
I don't think it was even that, was it? It was like, but yeah.
Anything under 10 seconds is suspect, isn't it? Really.
Yeah, you just got to straight away, and as I said, just loads of questions, and as I said, the capital of I got this one easy because I love my capitals, but you should know easy. This one, like capital of Argentina.
I do know it, as well. Man.
Google.
Bogota.
No, it's Buenos Aires.
Oh, you bastard! And you'll be down with
everyone on the panel. Give me a country, and I'll give you the answer.
Azerbaijan.
Well, that's right. No, not just like that state out of the fucking.
You said any.
You said any. Come on, son.
You said any, Baz. Come on.
See. Come on, Darryl. I know you've been shopping, right? But come on,
I'll go back to that one.
No way.
Norway is Oslo.
It is Oslo, yeah.
Iceland
is.
You typing it in on your phone?
No, I've only got one phone, and I have. It's
Don't mind me, I'm on the wind up. I've just come on here for 5 minutes for a laugh before. Do you know? Let me show you.
Right, check or Helsinki.
This is what I've got to tackle in 5 minutes.
Reykjavik.
Yeah, that's what I just said. That
I've got to wrap all that.
I said right check.
You didn't, like. Oh, Dave, that's crazy, that. No, if you look back, you didn't. You said Leipzig. You said Leipzig.
I did about the same amount yesterday. It took me 5 hours.
One more.
Tim's the VAR, but did he get that one wrong, Tim? Yeah.
Right check or Helsinki, you said.
And the answer was Reykjavik, so you can't have anything.
Yeah, but you know what I mean, no.
No, I didn't. I didn't have a clue what you
That's how you
meant.
pronounce. One more.
Go on, Dave.
Tokyo.
Tokyo. Tokyo is a capital, isn't it?
Yeah. Thinking about it.
Tim's trying to do the fuck your head up there, mate.
I know.
Dave, come on.
Last
You
one,
can be
go on.
trusted.
Africa.
Africa's a continent.
Even my daughter just said that. Did you hear that?
North Pole.
What'd you say?
The North Pole.
I thought you said tall Paul.
Totem
You know,
pole
Tim,
on the North
Oh,
Pole.
is this good? This is going to be down to me because you can't take these two seriously, mate.
I
You know what I
know,
mean?
go
But
on.
from one quiz fella to another, right? I'm going to hit you with this one, right?
Long as you definitely know the answer yourself.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. One like I was pretending that I had one ready, but when I didn't. Let's have a look, mate. Oh, you know what? What about Portugal? Portugal.
Lisbon.
Oh, you bastard! I knew we'd get that. That was poor by me. That like. That was poor. That like.
New Zealand.
Okay, New Zealand is Wellington.
That was class. Anyway, went right. Okay, see him. I can imagine him. He's looking at his hands like that.
No, it's not.
Okay.
Someone said in the chat, Australia. That's Canberra.
Australia is it?
You see, when somebody says "okay,
Germany's
David,"
Berlin.
it's called
Germany's
"bye" in a
Berlin.
few seconds. Bye in a few seconds.
What's the capital of Wales?
Fucking Tim, your sheep.
Cardiff.
Tim's microphone.
Cardiff.
Which country has the longest coastline in the world?
Africa.
I'd say Australia.
No.
A coastline, does that like so any island? How do you define a coastline? What if you're an island? Does that mean the coastline's all the way around?
So you can't right thingy.
Yeah, he's trying to trick us there, mate. You know, I'm too clever for him.
Name a colour and I'll get it in French. Not on too heavy like.
2 points.
Nothing too heavy.
No, go on.
Black.
Black is noir.
So do you know any French at all, like Daryl, or just know a few colours?
Jim Peldera. That's my name is Daryl.
What about Comotapel 2? Comotapel 2.
That means end alive ASAP.
What about Jamala Latet?
Who's got a small tet?
You cheeky fucker, I'm not a tit.
Yeah.
Jamala Latet, right? Is I've got a headache.
That's a Geordie slang. I pet.
What was it? What was it, Fly?
I've got a headache, Jamala Latet, I swear down. You check it out, anyone in the chat.
Not just a pretty face. Not just a pretty face, man.
Jamala Latet. I've even got the accent on, haven't I?
Big G's put Canada.
What for? What for, Jamala Latet?
No, cities.
Oh, can't. What do you call it in there?
Is it Handover?
No. Definitely not that. It's Quebec, isn't it?
Which?
Capital of Canada. Canada, is it Quebec?
No, isn't it fucking Osaka? No. It's not Toronto, what everyone thinks. It's
We got Genghis, we got Prairie Bears, Genghis.
It's fucking.
Would be that easy. That Sean Wayne didn't know this straight away, mate. Well, this is poor.
It's fucking capital of Malta. Montreal.
Yes.
Is
that's
that the right answer? Is that the right answer, Dave? Montreal, yeah?
Sounds right. Yeah, I'm not sure, mate, if I'm honest.
You were close though, Dave, with handover, weren't you? You were close enough, mate.
What's the capital of Monte Carlo?
My daughter will answer you.
It's Ottawa.
Ottawa.
Well done,
Yeah,
girl.
yeah.
Wasn't I so close?
Hang
Wasn't I?
on a minute. What did you say? Like,
You'll have to watch live back, mate. Well done, little Smithers.
but little Smithers, he was close, right? Just believe in this time.
That's the brain box of the family, mate.
Yeah, you know what one was brilliant last night in the quiz, right? One of the questions was, what's the daughter name? You know, in the Adams family, me, you know, because you got to be so quick in the fucking in the fastest fingers first. I just put Wed, short for Wednesday. So everyone was putting Wednesday. They was taking dead long, and I just put Wed. That's my point, mate.
Do you know that? I didn't know that.
Well, fucking hell, have you seen my surname? My surname's Adams. I know all the fucking Adams family.
See, that was a little bit before my time. That are you saying you've actually watched it? You've gone back and watched the Adams Family. Can you say that?
Family's boss, mate. Orange in French. Orange.
Right, boys. I'm gonna have to love
It
you
is.
and leave because I've got to crack on with these fucking presents, man.
Dave, could we have a update a bit later and see how you're getting on?
Do you know, yesterday, yeah, I finished work early yesterday. I got home at about 11:30. Started wrapping just me 7-year-old lad's presents. Took me till about 3:30. Took me nearly 5 hours.
Nice one, Gav.
That's going to be an indication to win that there was a lot of presents. So I hope there is a lot of presents, mate, because he's like, if my dad's taken that long to wrap all them up.
Fly, look.
Oof. Yeah.
Big up, Genghis. Big up,
You've been there
IXP.
till
Big
Christmas
up, Slim. Big up, Ministry.
Nice. It looks like,
you
you know what that looked like, Dave? That looked like Santa's workshop, mate, from the
You know what that is?
film Elf.
That's a wife who's gone OTT.
Over the top.
That's what that basically is.
I tell you what,
21.
she's gonna be dead clever. You know, little Smithers. I like her confidence. She's gonna be a bright spark. Definitely.
She's a member of the school council at school.
Mama?
You
Not
can
anymore.
tell, mate.
No, I've never. It was Leah and Alice.
Oh,
that
Leah
was-
and Alice, is it? What's that? What's your dancing that you're doing at the minute? You're performing. You're in the rock band. You're in the rock band, aren't you?
Yeah.
She's the lead singer of the rock band for the school.
Oh, not the lead. There's two of us.
Oh,
Have you watched School of Rock? Watch School of Rock. There you'll get some ideas of that brilliant film.
I've got
No,
to
she's
take a
into,
call. 2
Stranger
seconds.
Things
I've
and
got to
stuff
take a
like
call.
Who's echoing?
I think he's gone now. Are you still there, Tim?
Yeah,
I
still
think
here.
Tim's gone now. Oh, he's still there. Nice one, Tim. Just you were a bit quiet there, bro. Have you seen School of Rock, by the way? It's a great film. That I've just remembered how good that film is. Hilarious.
Wait, can you?
Right, fly, Tim. I'll see you later, chaps.
Yeah, nice one.
All right, Dave.
I can't
Speak
do
in a
it.
bit. Speak in a bit.
You got enough
The
fucking
worst thing
paper?
about it, I cannot sit still for that long. So I put something on the telly. Like yesterday, I put a film on. I put the first Avatar on and watched that, so I could remember what's going on. It's ready for the second one, and I think that's why it took me too long, mate.
And you were still rapping at the end of Avatar. That's a good 3 hours, isn't it?
Oh, it took me longer than that.
Yeah, Dad. I don't give you an answer.
Right, mate. I'm gonna have to leave you solo.
No worries, mate.
Big
No
up, mate.
worries. Yeah.
Peace.
In a bit, mate. It's gone quiet all of a sudden there, like, isn't it? Oh, it's been absolutely mad. Like this live. I've just remembered there. This live's only 30 minutes long, but I've been on for ages. The last one, anyone who didn't see it, like, it went mental. Absolutely mental. Yo.
Sorry, mate. Sorry, press the wrong button.
Oh, not like you at all. Not like
Sausage
you.
fingers. So,
Yeah, you know what? My head's been done in. It's been done in over that last hour, like how that live finished and everything, and like I'm just looking there thinking how long have I been on? 30 minutes. But that's only on this one though. I've done two now.
Oh, right. What happened to the other one? Oh, yeah, you said, didn't you?
Yeah, I can't. I'm going to have to today. I need to 100% find the next version of Windows like 10 and download it onto my laptop.
Yeah.
But it will probably be the nail in the coffin though. I don't think it'll be able to handle an update like that. It'll just probably have smoke coming out of it and everything.
Problem is that they're not cheap, are they? Like, laptop, even a second-hand laptop. You talk a good one. You're talking about 200 or 300 quid, like.
Yeah. They have come down a little bit, but not as much as like the other electrical stuff's come down. You know what I mean? Laptops have always seemed to stay at a level. You know what I mean?
And I think if you're only going on YouTube with that, I think that iPad would be just as good, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So
it sounds like. No, mate. Like I say, I'm going out with my mother tomorrow. I haven't been out shopping with my mum for I couldn't tell you, mate, about 30 years. But because I've been that bad this year, she's agreed to like. I've got to get her a turkey out of it. Like she wants a turkey.
Yeah.
But she's going to help us out with all the shopping and all that. So hopefully this time tomorrow, it might be all done, mate. Yeah.
Well, I went shopping yesterday afternoon. Spent 130 quid, right? And there's nothing there to go for it, like.
130. You know what, mate? Like £130, right? Well, I've seen people on here who've got like teenagers and that, and they're saying that the tracksuits they're wanting are like 200 quid, and they've bought them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they want the top of the range.
One present. That's one present. Imagine they're opening one present. That's not going to happen. It's like, where do you draw the line, though? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and of course, like with the designer stuff, that's what they want, because if they go out without the designer gear, they get laughed at, don't they?
Yeah.
And it's wrong, like.
What laptop? Oh God, my laptop's a bloody Acer something, Davey, and it's running on Windows 8.1 that I've been told is going out of existence, basically. So I need to update something to.
Yeah, but Acer's a good make, though, isn't he?
Yeah. Oh, it's been a brilliant laptop, mate. I've had it about literally 10 years, mate. Not maybe just before, maybe 9 years I've had it. And I've never updated, like, it's been running on that version of 8.1. That will have been an up-to-date version when I got this.
Yeah. But they do that. But like you said, it's the Windows, isn't it? They keep updating the Windows, and that means you got to keep updating it then, don't it?
Yeah. It's all like, it's like the processor, isn't it? It's like what processors in there, that's all that they're doing. It's like, you know what, Tim, right? Me and you would be quite happy with like this download speed of 50, wherever it is. 50 when Virgin say, "Oh, we do multi-speed broadband."
Yeah.
And so we're happy. We press a button and something happens. That's good enough for us, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
So why do they keep trying to make that faster and faster? Like, what are they wanting to do?
I don't know. I've never checked mine. I'm with Talk. They're pretty crap, mine, but
I've been with them, mate, for 10 years. I've never had a problem with them. Like, never a problem with me internet, really.
And I think they're pretty quick, for going on Google or whatever. Like, it's all down to downloading, isn't it? If you're downloading stuff, I'm not sure, but I'm sure I'm not getting what I should be getting out of Talk.
Yeah, I think they've just upped my bill. I think I pay £26 a month, right, for my broadband and my phone line. Obviously nobody ever uses a phone line anymore, do they?
Yeah,
so,
they do.
Oh, do you really? Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
What, you have a phone in your house plugged into the wall?
Yeah.
Fucking hell, Tim. I don't know anyone who's got a home phone anymore, mate.
There we
It's
have
mad,
it.
that.
Yeah.
Obviously, you have to have it for your broadband line and whatever, but I haven't had a phone in my house for years. Just mobile, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they're just as easy and they like, you know. But with my
So-
sausage fingers, I need one of those big phones which I got with the big numbers on.
So, Tim, do you? I was going to say, do you know why I got got rid of a phone? Because I was getting all horrible, like, you know, them people calling you about shit all the time.
Yeah.
You still get them ringing you all the time, like trying to sell you
No.
stuff.
Ex-directory I am anyway, so I'm not even in the phone book.
Yeah, it's because I mean, I know these people are still getting duped now, aren't they? You know, by these con callers and that, old people and that. And they're getting them to sign all the money over from saying there's something wrong in the bank.
Yeah.
You can't blame people for not answering the phone anymore. I don't answer no number. I don't know.
But it's clever how they do it, though, isn't it? You know, I mean, if somebody phones up and says, "Oh, I'm with, you know, I'm so and so from the bank," you're gonna think it is, wouldn't you? You know, because they do
think
sound
about it, Tim. You think about it, Tim. Say they're in India, right? There's probably a bloke who's got 20 people in an office, ringing people constantly with the same con all day long. It's only going to take one of them to bite, and that'll pay for all them staff for about a year, and he'll still make a profit out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
So that's the way they run it.
Yeah, it's like they'll send a message. These cons will send a message to say you're on a laptop and say that it needs updating.
Yeah.
So they're trying to get into your sort of like system, and if you give them all the details, they got everything then, haven't they? You know.
That's what I mean. Is it getting that bad now? Like, where you dare do you ever feel nervous about clicking a link that somebody sent you, or are you that paranoid yet?
I wouldn't just click any link. Definitely not.
Yep. Yeah,
No.
I know what you mean. I don't think I am as security conscious as like I could be. I'll admit that. Like I don't. I have the same password for a lot of things, you know, like which they say don't do that, but it's bad enough you never remember one, isn't it?
Yeah, and I was scammed on Messenger, Facebook Messenger. I thought because I thought it was somebody I knew. It texted me. He said click on the link, like so I clicked on it, and it just took me to I don't know to somewhere like, and it just went from there. Like my account was closed and everything. And that's why I won't do it again.
I've had somebody who got control of my email, my main email, about 10 years ago, and it was a friend. I found out it was a friend in the end, and they wouldn't let me. I was begging with them. I didn't know who it was. They were sending me emails from my own email to another email, but I didn't know who had control of it. They changed the password, and it turns out it was like one of my friends. It was a girl.
Wow.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Honestly, I couldn't do anything about it, right? I couldn't. They weren't interested, the email people, because every time I tried to get in, the account was just like, it said wrong password, and this person was getting all my emails, everything.
So obviously, she must have kept your email.
You know what it was? You know what it was? I'd been on I can remember, I'd been round a house, and because I was friends with her boyfriend, was my mate, we were all mates, and I'd gone on a betting site or Ladbrokes or something, and I'd told him I'd give him my password, and he wrote it down, and she's got it from that. And I used the same password for my email as I did for the bookies thing. So she's got out of her way and thought, I wonder if that's his password for his email. And it was.
It's mad, isn't it? You know, you think that somebody. Yeah.
We've got Richard, Jamie, Mick Johnson. How we doing?
I've got to jump, mate. All right.
No worries, mate. No worries.
Speak to you soon, anyway. But if not, have a good Christmas, you, Mrs. Moon, and everyone.
Yeah, and you, Tim. I'm sure I'll bump into you.
Yeah, no doubt. Cheers, mate.
All right, lad. See you later. From one batty fish to another.
Yeah, looks like.
So
Looks like.
shopping, right? On from a scale of 1 to 10, like what are you giving the last few hours that you've just had
What
there
the,
of shopping? Have you been
you know what,
shopping?
mate? It was. You know what, mate? It was easy. It was just. The thought of it. That's even worse, isn't it?
So was it as
Pictures were
busy
there.
as you thought it would be though? Like, because you would
No,
expect
mate,
it
because it
back
was
in the day,
no.
Thursday
It
night,
was lashing
Thursday night.
down. It
Still,
weren't
it's
as
3
busy
days
as I
before
thought.
Christmas.
No, it wasn't as busy as I thought. As I said, it's just there going round every fucking shop, lad. So I
But
just
you,
wait outside with the bags, mate. I just have a ciggy. I just wait
yeah,
I wait to have a ciggy just till every shop she goes and I'm like, I'll have a ciggy.
yeah, that's the way to do it. Like, but
But
can you remember just think,
the last shop
go
she
on.
went in, mate. She went to the sunbeds. I went sound. You best go into the one that's next to the boozer. So obviously I had fucking vodka and coke and I had a pint. Time to come
So
back out, mate. Laughing.
9 minutes. So you had a vodka and coke and a pint of beer in 9 minutes.
What do you mean,
That's
lad?
how long.
Fucking soon,
That's how long to go on the bed for now, isn't it?
lads, soon as she must have been only about. She must have been about 12, 15 minutes, and then she said, "Well, if you've had one, I'll have one." I went, "Go ahead." Honestly,
It's mad when
dead
you go on
easy.
the sunbed, isn't it? Like, did she come out like as if she's been on the sunbed? Because I know I've seen some of the women that come out of them sunbed rooms. You know when they've been on for like
Yeah,
15 minutes and that, and they're
she
all
only ever
red
does
and
9. She only
yeah,
does
nine
9.
to one. Like.
But
Nine's just
it always comes
glory.
out on a bit later on. So you know
Yeah,
what she's
yeah.
like. She'd be later on. She'd be like, can you see it's come through now?" And like, yeah. Look, I don't know.
Does she use the creams and that? They're quite
Lad,
good, them creams, though. They're
she
all right, you
loves the
know.
creams, mate. Loves the
I
creams,
just,
mate.
I just don't like the feeling of it on my skin. Like
I've never used them, lad. I think
yeah.
since I've ever been with her, she must have asked me about the creams about 1,000 times, and she said 1,000 no's back. Honestly, all she does is fucking cream this, cream that. It's like
Yeah.
fucking sick of it.
You know what, though,
Honestly.
mate? Right? I'll be honest. I'm 50 next year, right? And the reason I don't look 50 is from
Afternoon, Jamie, brother.
That is what I've gone by that from since I was about 20.
Yeah, she uses that, lad. Yeah, she uses that, mate.
If I
Uses
don't
that.
have that on my face, like after on a day, like if I've washed my face or whatever, my face feels like it's gonna like crack.
Oh no, I don't use them, you know, mate. She, as I said, she's creams. It's like this. If there's no cream left, it's like the same as murder, if there's no mayonnaise in ours. So if she's run out of cream, or I've run out of mayonnaise, there's murder either way.
Right, so we've got a lot of fellas in the chat here, right? We've got some real men in here. You know what I mean? We've got Slim, Jamie Sawyer, right? Boss Dog,
The real
Nick
motherfuckers.
Johnson. So I'm asking all of them, right? Is it okay to use this stuff? Yeah, once a day as a man. That's not laughable or anything, is it? It's accepted, in it. Would you say that?
It's acceptable. I wouldn't.
Wouldn't you, mate?
No, like I don't want the
Got to
creams
use
back.
something on your face. Yeah, but how would you think your face gets hydrated and that?
I just don't know. The missus just says I look gorgeous. That'll do for me, lad.
Honestly though, mate, if I didn't use that, I'd have proper crocodile skin. You know what I'm
I don't
saying?
know, mate. As I said, don't know.
So hasn't nobody ever got you like a moisturising set or something for Christmas?
No, because they know I'm not into all that.
Or you're not
Don't
into
get me wrong. I
personal
have done
hygiene?
Don't get me
You're
wrong.
not into
I have got loads, and I used to give it to anything that I did get. I used to give it to my dad.
Mate, from one man to another, right? Swear down, start using and looking after your face and that, you know what I mean? Look after your looks and that. Because one day you'll wake up and you won't be
I know.
looking as good as you think you look.
I know, but it's not about that, mate. It's about what's inside, mate, innit? I couldn't give 2 fucks, lad. You are what you are, mate. If I use the creams or I don't, it doesn't matter.
But not for you. Think about everyone else who's got to look at you all day. You know what I mean?
They're the lucky ones.
Not being selfish, you think about them, the
Hello.
others that have to look at you. Do you get me? Get me, lad? He's got to put some cream on his face. Didn't mean no, Daryl. Oh, don't say I've just done something again. Don't say I've muted him or something.
No, she's just come in, lads, and I'm not speaking about creams. She fucking uses them, mate. Hey, so Fly uses all creams. Look, you know what you use? Fly uses all creams. What you use? Yeah. Drop a bitch, boy, like.
No, mate, it's like that stuff, right? I wouldn't have kept them. I should have shares in that stuff, because if I haven't got one of them in the house or in the car even, I admit, I take one in the car, right? It's like,
Did you hear her, lad? She said, Nivea, yeah, that's the best for your skin.
yeah, of course it is, man. Forget about all this, like, Clarins and all this, all these big makes and that. L'Oreal and that. Can't beat a bit of Nivea. Whoever invented that Nivea stuff, it should get knighted or something like that.
Well, it's up to, as I said, everyone's each their own, aren't they, mate? If you think you
Nicky, how you doing? Yeah, you've got to excuse us, Nicky. So, are you saying that you've got no plans to,
now, Fly? I can just hear it now and just rumbling on about creams and that, lad. What? See what I'm saying? Oh, you started.
You will get a Nivea box set this Christmas. I'm guaranteeing it. You must have got one, Daryl. Everyone gets them, man. Even when they don't want them, everyone gets a link.
Don't use them, lads. Got loads. Don't use them. Not
Well,
you,
that's
love.
what I mean.
Look, fucking hell. Not on about you with your creams. So look in the background. I'm obsessed with them. Look, I'm just been saying that before you come in. But
The Big G's another one who's gonna look 50 when he's like 35. You know what I mean? And they'll say, I should have listened to Moon, with that Nivea stuff.
Yeah.
And he's right, and that's the reason why he looks in the mirror and it's got crocodile skin,
I tell you what, it was brilliant live last night, wasn't it? Loads of different characters come on, loads of different talks. It was brilliant.
Oh, yours, mate. I was belly laughing, mate.
Brilliant, wasn't it, mate?
You know what? Where did I go? Who was I talking to? Oh, was it when did you see the start of this live, Daryl?
No, mate. I got back.
When I finished, right? When this finishes and you get quarter of an hour, go listen with your lass to that first 15 minutes that I did this afternoon, mate. All I did was big people up, and I said I had the best laugh ever on your live last night. It was the best laugh I'd had.
You know what I done when I got back? Because remember you saying you thinking at half 2. So I WhatsApped you, didn't I? And then I went on WhatsApp to saying I'm back. So that meant, so I went on YouTube then to say to come join you live. And I thought, wow, he's not even live, and it was part 1. I thought, what the hell? And then you started a new one. Why did you do part 1 and part 2?
Just one sec, Darren. I'll tell you, King's on it, isn't he? Right. So I was looking for a photo for this live, for my first live, right? A Christmassy one. Northern King had put a post up earlier on today with 3 days left to Christmas, so I fucking nicked it.
Oh, did you?
Said, I can't believe you nicked my pic and then cut me out of it.
Yeah, I've been liking Northern King stuff lately, actually. It's been decent, hasn't it? It's been putting up all stuff, regarding, obviously. I haven't really commented, but I've liked them all. So yeah, keep doing what you're doing, Northern King.
I'm sure we were on it. I'm sure I meant to say that, King, you put something on your channel last week we were in it, Daryl. We were on the panel. Wow. Can't remember whose it was now. King might be able to tell us, but Yes, Dan, how we doing, mate? Richard Grimes, how we doing, fella?
Yeah, Richard Grimes, man. What's happening, Richard, brother? Big respect.
What's happening, Crocodile Skin?
No, hey, I'll have you know, this is the only reason why I came on. I use creams myself, mate. So I don't have no crocodile skin, mate. I look 20 years younger than I should be.
Well, the sunbeds, G, have you ever been on sunbeds?
No, I don't do sunbeds. Get your missus some Elemis cream, Daryl. You take
Got
it.
all kinds of creams, mate.
He uses all the ones he gets at Christmas that he doesn't use. He wraps them up and gives them to his lass.
No, she has all like the certain ones that she uses in certain times of the day and all that.
Oh yeah, daytime, nighttime ones and all that bollocks.
Okay.
Daryl.
One for my face. The blue one I use for like my arms, and then my Susan Glory ones.
Yeah, yeah.
You want some Elemis ones? You want to get you some Elemis ones as well, love?
That's what you started, but fly.
Yeah, I know for a fact, right, that I'm a bloke, right, but I know for a fact that if you asked 100 women, right, what they could not do without within their purse, in their bag, what item of makeup, what do you reckon it would be? If they could only have one bit.
Hairspray cream. 100%.
No, it has to be specific. It has to be specifically makeup. What item of makeup?
It'll be foundation or something like that.
Foundation. But foundation's just foundation, isn't it? It's not. It's just a foundation for your real makeup, isn't it? So you just have a face of foundation. I'd say it was lip gloss, lippy.
Everyone's different, though. That's what I'm saying.
I have to admit,
I was going to ask Nikki. I was going to ask live follower, but she'd just tell me to piss off with the makeup because she doesn't use it. She told me.
Yeah, that's the best way, you know.
Natural,
mate. That's the best.
This stat's on it. He's saying Libby.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But that's this stat, isn't it? So he's this stat. Daryl will laugh, won't he, at that first bit of my life. Oh, mate, you know what, mate? You know I love you, right? And I was bigging your live up for ages, but then somebody mentioned about cycling shorts and that, mate, and we went a bit overboard.
You fucking brought it up, Moon. You did. No one else did. You did. You twat.
Bloody daddy.
Yeah, Darren, when we start talking about cut-off jeans, just turn it off, mate.
Defo, innit?
Dave Smithers got ripped as well, you know, like big time. Distat ripped him about his wardrobe.
Right.
And
I'll be back on and give me 15 minutes, okay? Back on in 15 minutes, boys. So that, boys.
No worries. Yes, Big G.
Now then, mate. Now then.
Hey, Big G, you've been you know what, mate? I'll just say it. You have been like a breath of fresh air these last few weeks, mate. Like since you started coming on the channel and that.
Oh, thanks.
It's always brilliant to see. Like, I love all the names in the chat, but I'll be honest. When you were in here, you it's better. You know what I mean? You make it a better place, mate.
It's just about banter for me, lad.
Yeah. And you're not scared to jump on a panel, you know what I mean, which is good. I'm not dissing anyone that doesn't, but it's just, as I remember the first day, I'd seen you in the chat for quite a while, hadn't I? And then you just jumped on the panel. I'd never like said, get yourself on the panel. You just come on, and it was like, it's like a breath of fresh air, you know what I mean? So big up for that, mate. There's plenty of others as well who support us all the time, you know.
Yeah, I'll keep I'm a loyal man. I keep to my channels of you, Daryl, and now and again Andrew.
Yeah, and I've seen you interacting on other chats as well, G. And you see everyone in chats. It's not I'm not stalking you or anything, but I notice the people who bounce off you and they're all fucking proper good people. You know what I mean?
Oh, Phil Graham. I love having Phil Graham.
Phil Graham was the first one to come to mind there because Phil, he has good banter, and if he's bantering with you, you're funny.
Yeah, he is top notch. Is that lad?
It's like that all the time, though. You know, from the minute he comes on to the minute he puts his phone down, he's like that. And
What did I say to him earlier on today? I went, "Oh, Phil's got two perms, one on his head and one down below, and he puts hair lacquer on them and styles them every day."
He loves it, man. He loves it. But I always thought he was a Scouser, you know. I thought, oh, he's a true Scouser, right? That's what this YouTube does to you, right? I thought Phil Graham, he is a Scouser, and but he lives in Belfast. He told me today.
What?
Yeah, lives in Belfast. Did you think he was a Scouser?
I'm sure he was a Scouser, but he said that he just travels to Belfast.
Sure, he said early on that he lives in Belfast now. I know he was on a plane the other day because he was at the airport and we were having a bit of banter with him on someone's live about 4 o'clock in the morning. Chris the Bricks it was. Chris the Brick was having a go at him because Chris the Brick must be the only person who doesn't get on with Phil Graham, right? Like to the point where he was proper slating him. And it was bad. I don't know if anyone who's in here now was in that chat. But Phil was getting on a plane to go back home 4 o'clock in the morning, and Chris the Brick was just calling him all sorts, saying he was just horrible. And we were all winding him up, like winding Phil up about it. Just say to him, when'd you square go with Chris the Brick?
I didn't know that they had a bit of beef with each other. What's it been caused by?
I don't know. It's just, you know what it is? I think it's just, must have been, he's just took a comment the wrong way, Chris. Took one of Phil's comments the wrong way, and you know what Phil's like. Phil's got to jump on that. So ever since then, that's all I can think. Don't think it's anything nasty, you know what I mean? But
Phil's definitely one of them characters that if you bite, he'll make it 10 times worse for you.
Exactly.
You know, you just like I say, it's just banter, innit?
Yeah, man.
It keeps within the boundaries of not saying the K word or anything to do with family, and that's it. Just rip each other.
You know what was brilliant today, G? I don't know I think you've been floating about in chats today, haven't you? Were you in Andrew J's when I was talking to you?
Yeah, I've been working, mate, and I've just had YouTube going outside of me because I've handed in my notice at my job, so I'm pretty bored. It's like current job's like no fucks given anymore. Can't be asked.
Yeah. So point I was getting to was when on Andrew J's. I mean, he's what his lives are like anyway. They're up and down, aren't they? But I watched the last half an hour before I did this last live at 2 o'clock. So I watched Andrew J, and I swear down I couldn't take my eyes off it. That Van de Costa jumped on. Like, what a nice woman she is. She jumped on the panel. Do you know Vanda? Yeah. She's been coming in chats for ages, and it's just a name on a screen, like.
Yeah, you put
when you got a face to put with it, you would not. It was the last thing I expected. She's Scottish, and she's just one of these who looks natural on the camera. You know, she had a little Santa hat on with these earrings that were flashing. Brilliant, man.
Yeah, I knew she was Scottish. I think she originated from Poland, but she's basically lived in Scotland for near enough all her life. Because the name's actually Wanda, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not
but she talks proper Scottish. But it's the Scottish that we can all understand. You know, not like Eddie Hearn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is the Scottish that you can understand. You don't need subtitles and that.
Yeah, it's the city Scottish, not the hillbillies Scottish. I'll probably get ripped for that.
Andrea's a Geordie lass. Plenty of we like the Geordies up here, Andrea. I don't know if you know, I'm from Middlesbrough, but I've got a lot of good friends who are Geordies, like all my best friends anyway.
The Geordie girl?
Tim Draco, all the way from the mountains there. I've noticed. I've been watching a bit of that, and like it's weird at the minute over there in Spain. One day it'll be pissing down or dead cloudy. The next day it looks like it's like red hot. You know what I mean?
Well, Tim's over in Spain.
Tim Draycott's with Steve Farthing.
Oh,
been there about a week. Yeah.
Did
you not know that?
Shoot through other day on a live.
Did you not what?
Didn't Steve Harvin shoot through or something on a live? Didn't he go proper mental or something?
He's been all right for a few days. Like I say, I don't really watch now, but I know Tim's there because I was watching when he arrived there and that, you know what I mean. But he's still been Steve's channel, but Tim's been in the background. You know, I think he's putting his own content out actually. But I'm not sub to him, but he's on a bit of an adventure, I think, with Mr. Farthing. Go and give it a watch. Give it a watch when he's on. He's on live quite a lot, Steve. So
no, I don't sub to him, mate. He's a bit too hippie like for me. He's a bit too shot through. I can't do with those sorts of characters that you know. His head's on another fucking planet. If you ask me, no offense, Steve, but it is, mate. Your head's on a completely different fucking planet to every fucker else's.
Yeah. Crazy behaviour. What's the Northern King saying here?
I was going to say, he's giving
you Andrew Jays. What I was saying about Andrew Jays, it was like when Vanda come on, she was bouncing off Quaver. Now Quaver was like, yes, because she's half Scottish.
Yeah.
And she, you know what Quaver's like. She can see like a nice person from a mile off, and there's going to be a what's the other word for a women romance? Not a bromance.
A cis-mance.
A romance. Yeah. Watch out for that one in the chat now, because there was some brewing there. They're going to be good mates, too.
Yeah, she's got an heart of gold, as Lindsay, and you can get that just from Vanda as well. So, like I say, I heard it, but even just with a comment in chat, she's just a normal, down to earth woman. You know what I mean?
Did you see any of Daryl's last night?
I didn't, mate. I fell asleep like a silly. I've been putting up flat pack furniture from fucking IKEA, and it's been winding me up. And it's, but yeah, I've been doing that, and then I fucking fell asleep. So
yeah,
what happened on Daryl's?
Oh, you know what, mate? It was right up your street. You'd have loved it, man. We just laughed we laughed for about 3 hours, mate. I was on the panel for about 3 hours. Me, Daryl, Quaver, Sean Wayne jumped on. It was just a proper good crowd, you know. We were just taking the mick out of each other, and
then I missed that.
Then right at the end, right, for the last week, he had about 50 in his chat the whole night, right? Considering there was other lives on as well, like, you know what I mean? 50 was good. And just to top it off, the last 10 minutes, Lucas came on, you know, DSL.
Oh, yeah.
Daniel Lucas said he's got a 6-week-old baby, I think she is. And he just come on because he just enjoyed watching it, you know, and he wanted to like jump on and say Happy Christmas and whatever, and he had a toast. He done some Jack Daniels, and he made us all have a toast to everyone who isn't with us anymore. You know what I mean? It was proper good. Oh. And then he was telling us about his how his life's like going, you know, with a 6-week-old baby and that.
Friggin' mental, that, innit? I've got a friend of mine well, in fact, a work colleague. Freaking father-in-law just passed away like two nights ago, and it's just like fucking hell, just before Christmas. You know what I mean? It's just like what a kick in teeth that is.
Yeah, mate. While we're on that subject, I meant to say this a lot earlier. Anyway, do you know Scouser with Mark Belfast? Who you know him?
Oh yeah. I'm on with Scouser.
Yeah, Scouser, his mother passed away this morning. I think this morning, Daryl told me. He came on the panel last night, and she'd been ill for a while. And he came on the panel last night. He was on for quite a bit. And bless him, like he knew that his mother was going to pass away very soon. You know what I mean? And he still come on the panel and like being positive and that. But like I say, I found out this morning that she has passed away. So,
oh bless him.
Big love to Scouser, mate.
Yeah, it's a nasty thing. Big scene, man. I tell you, it's nasty. I was in the same situation with my man. That's the thing is, you only get one man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's,
He's one of the good ones, Scouser. You know what it is with Scouser, right? Now I seen it anywhere. You know, even when he was King Irish's sidekick for a while.
yeah.
Did you used to watch it back in the day? Because he never got a word in edgeways on that panel, right? And now looking back, now we know Mark Belfast and Scouser a lot better. I always say to him that I could see on that panel that he wasn't enjoying himself. You know what I mean?
I never did King Irish's or Fighting Irish's channel.
Oh, well, like, say anyone who watched King Irish's will know what I mean. Like, his Scouser was there for him every night. And, like, I couldn't imagine just listening to King Irish every night, never mind being his mate or anything. But now Scouser's out with it all. It's come out that it was toxic, you know what I mean? But he's come out, he's got on Daryl's now and he jumps on mine and he's got his own with Mark and, like, starting to see the proper Scouser, you know what I mean? He's a proper nice bloke, just like Mark is as well.
Yeah, the good lads. Like I say, I know there's been a lot of stuff on YouTube at the minute, kicking off with King Irish, aren't there? Over fucking doxing or something.
Yeah.
I'll keep my nose out of that shit, man. I can't be arsed with it.
Yeah. I don't know if you've seen. I've mentioned this earlier on, and this is just me giving my opinion, right? Because it's a bit of a dodgy subject at the minute. But I caught a bit of Expos. I put it on today. I slept last night after Daryl's, and I missed everything. So, but I watched a bit of Expos back, and Daryl will be a good one to jump in here. Yeah, Daryl, I'm just saying, I watched a bit of Expos back last night, mate, and on one of your messages, you said it was all kicking off to me, right? So I watched it back, and you know,
When? Which one?
last night Expo from last night.
No, I didn't say it was. No, one saying when? I didn't watch it.
You didn't watch it last night, Wednesday Wildness or something, or
no, lad.
I
literally
Expo.
No, the
Well,
night
he did it.
before, it was funny. The night before when it was on.
It was Wednesday last night, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You watch Expos from last night, mate, and tell me what you
Wicked
think.
Wednesday, yeah. Oh yeah, lad. Oh yeah, I'm
Mate,
watching it. That's what I'm saying, mate. It's always going to be
I'll
like
just
that
say this
now.
thing here. What the fuck has Yeti done wrong?
I know.
Yeah, that's saying that in regards to what
Anton going on? Why did he go in on Yeti like that? That was unbelievable.
Lad, you know what, Fly? You know the score, mate, and you know when like the days when, as I said, you know when you're doing a 4-hour live, mate, there's nothing worse than just literally just listening to another one, you know, in the chats, and so I can't actually when I didn't have a channel or whatever else, you can actually watch them or jump on any. But you know when you're doing a 4-hour live, lad, it's nothing worse. You just want to zone off YouTube completely. So I watched a little bit of it, and that was it. Then just watch.
Did you see it, Jay? You know what I'm about, Jay.
Yeah, I saw bits and bats of it. I didn't see him going on Yeti, but then there was like the rumblings after, and yeah.
It was total paranoia. It was paranoia at its best. Everyone who come on the panel just got tortured straight away, and Expo's head must have been farting because he had to.
Yeah.
He fell out with Yeti over nothing. I don't even know what happened. But anyone who was coming on was just getting scrutinised. Official came on.
It's mad as well, isn't it? When you're the channel host as well, you're letting people on.
Yeah.
It's like it's out of your hands, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's crazy.
At the minute, everyone's paranoid to fuck, aren't they? Like Shits and Giggles says there, right? Everyone's just paranoid. All the hosts and that. Phil Boy's having a few days off.
What's that legit?
I mean, to be fair to Expo last night, he let Fischl on and he really didn't know who Fischl was. So he was basically listening to the chat when they were all saying, "Get her off, she's a wrong one."
Yeah, I see that he was explain. Yeah, you're right there.
Yeah. So it's fair play to him because I said before, Darryl, I don't think you were here. I said, I know for a fact that Expo doesn't sit and watch YouTube like we do, you know what I mean? So when he comes on a night, chances are he hasn't seen a lot of what he might not know about anything.
Some days he does. Some days he does.
Yeah.
As I said, he was in mine yesterday, wasn't he? In my chat yesterday for the first 20 minutes, half an hour, wasn't he? And then as you said, when you're doing your own lives and that, it's hard to be in all chats, but especially it's different for us though, Fly, because we're like little tiny platforms. Like when you've got Expo and obviously Film Boy, it's literally they're all talking about all over the YouTube community because there's that many obviously subs and whatever else. So surely behind the scenes they will look without putting any chats. You've got to, haven't you, really?
I just feel like at the minute it feels like everyone's on like walking on eggshells, you know, all the big horses and that. I mean, did you see Andrew Jay's earlier? Did you see Crinkle? What Crinkle did?
Oh, he's a
No,
knobhead,
lad.
that lad, man. Honestly, I would love to smash him back in the fucking.
Mate, he done a, you imagine Jaggy Thistle, right? But about 5 times worse. He did that
I
on
haven't
Andrew
seen
Jay.
that.
That was bad, that, like.
He's a
That's
freaking
what
knobhead.
that's what I'm saying.
But he's
That's
left it up.
regards to not
He left it up, didn't he?
Andrew or Ministry, but they get all like the mad ones on there, don't they? Like
Saying that, Daryl,
you know, and like
Daryl, you'll appreciate this one. Guess who jumped on Andrew Jay's live today? I've never seen her on a live before, ever. Comes in all our chats. And you won't believe it when I tell you. Can you guess?
Hang on 2 secs.
Well, Daryl's waiting there. Yeah, it's all getting toxic, man. I don't get it. It's fucking Christmas today. You know what I mean? Why is it getting all toxic like this? I know I don't do Christmas, but like, just people just need to chill out. And I said this on one of, I think it was on.
What happened? What happened then? What was you saying, Fly, about obviously looking?
I said somebody who comes in our chat all the time, a woman, and she's brilliant, right? She's brilliant in the chat, but I've never seen her on a panel ever. She jumped on Andrew Jay's panel today. Who do you think it was?
Give me the first letter.
I forgive you that. You're going to get it straight away, but it was V.
Okay. V.
There's only one V that comes in our chat. She sounds Polish.
Vanda. Wow.
Mate, you would not believe it. She's Scottish. She's like proper brilliant, man. Proper nice woman, mate, honestly.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. She was having a beauty laugh with Quaver. Proper bouncing off Quaver. A pair of them.
It's just mad in regards to when you think about it, and it's crazy because I'm thinking, you know, when you think people just don't go to sleep, man. They really need to like just get off YouTube a little bit. You know, there's too many people are just stuck on YouTube 24/7, and it's not good for your mental state. You know, just have days off and that. Like I have days off. You've got to. Like I make sure my notifications are off. Just people are on 24/7, lad, and the sleep pattern. All they do is moan about sleep patterns and that. It's because I don't get it.
It's hard to explain though. It's hard to explain though, isn't it? Because it is like a soap opera, and like you feel like you've missed an episode if you miss a day. You know what I mean?
It's an addictive thing. If you've got an addictive personality, you get addicted to YouTube.
And let's get it right. We all must tell ourselves we watch too much YouTube, don't we? It's like people years ago said, "Oh, you watch too much telly, you." And like, you probably did, but what's too much telly? You know what I mean? There's only so many jobs you can do in a day without relaxing, isn't there? If you relax, you need some entertainment. So I don't know. Do you think it's got a? Do you still feel? Do you tell people at work or friends that you watch YouTube, or as like your entertainment or anything, G?
No, because I'm always working from home, mate. So I'm just constantly working from home, so I don't really see any office lot anymore. So I just have it going on in background while I'm working, really.
Do you think it's acceptable though, as like say you were all sat around a table in a restaurant, right, with all your friends and the wives and all that, and somebody got on about what you watch on telly? If you said that, "Oh, I watch YouTube," would you still be like, "Oh, do you?" You know what I mean? Would you still be the odd one out?
I don't give a fuck, mate. You take me as I am. You know what I mean? I'll tell it how it is, mate. I'm one of the.
No, I mean in general, though. I mean as a general, like like a stigma around, like, is it still do people
no,
still watch TV, or does everyone watch YouTube, or what?
because I could just turn around and go, well, you spend all your life on Facebook or you spend all your life on
Yeah,
Instagram.
yeah.
End of the day, it's a social media platform.
Yeah.
It's we all spend too much time on social media. To be fair,
Yeah.
That's just the times that we're in. It's gone are the days when you used to have to knock on someone's door to actually, you're coming out and go call for him and whatnot. That's no more, is it? It's just straight to Facebook or Instagram. But I was saying that on John's panel, sorry, not on his panel, in his chat the other day, and I was just like, the toxicity of YouTube at the minute is getting to a point where most people that are on YouTube have got some form of mental health. Let's get it right. And it's just going to take one individual, right, that will absolutely break down mentally and just fucking flip, and they'll just do a round mod.
It's getting closer, isn't it? It's getting closer, isn't it?
I'm just expecting that day where YouTube's just going to go mental by one individual just flipping out and going fucking nuts. And yeah, I'm just expecting that day to come sooner rather than later.
Well, all the signs are there. We've had a few. If you think about it, we've had a few where people have got in the cars on a live and gone to meet people. Flavor's been one of them. Flavors will even admit he lost the plot and got in a taxi going to meet somebody off YouTube. We've seen Julian do it. We've seen Tunes do it. Harlan and Dennis have done it. And then you've got the likes of there was another one, but the latest one, Decker and Dodgy Dave. I mean, where's it going to stop?
Yeah, it's exactly. When's it going to stop? And what do they get out of it? You have a ruck. Oh, you're a big man for having a ruck. Well done. Give yourself a pat on the back. It's like, go on, fuck off, man. You know what I mean? Like I say, I don't get all this YouTube offer of people out type thing and whatnot. End of the day, what it all boils down to is clicks and views, in it. I want to make a celebrity out of myself. Well, what's the fucking point?
I mean, we forget about what happened up Scotland when on live, that somebody got it with the car. You know what I mean? Like, and it's all the talk now. People getting doorstepped and over Christmas and that, and some of it is only banter, but some of it's a bit more than that. Some of it's just going past over the line. You know what I mean?
But that's the thing. So everyone's different mentally, aren't there? There's some individuals out there that actually take all this shit to heart and they think differently to any normal person. You know what I mean? And all it'll take is one punch, right, to one individual, and they'll end up killing them. Thing is, I've seen that happen. I've seen a guy die from one bat in the head.
Oh yeah, I've watched programs called One Punch, where the documentaries about where people have died off one punch. I know somebody who has. It's never woke up. Hit the wall, never woke up, and that's as easy as it is. And then you're doing 10-year manslaughter. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like completely fucking raj, man. All for the sake of YouTube. It's not exactly like we're all live locally to each other. You know what I mean? Where there's I don't know, some local beef going on. Most of these individuals live at different fucking ends of the country.
It's like it's always going to happen, right? You're always going to get these beefs, right? And someone always wants to take it that little bit further, right? Now, is that okay if there's dedicated channels dedicate themselves to that type of thing? It's when they let that happen on the channels and then try to be normal the next day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like if you portray yourself as a roast channel and where anything goes, say anything goes in the title, but then you decide that no, that can't go. That's when you get the problem. People go to a channel because they know what they can get away with. It's when they stop them doing that that you get all the problems. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like I say, mate, it's I keep my nose out of it type thing, but that's my opinion. I don't understand all this fucking beef shit that's going on. It's fucking Christmas, man. Even though I don't like Christmas, fucking hell, it's not time to be setting up beefs at this time.
Big G, why don't you like Christmas, mate? And you don't have to tell us if it's something like bad. You know what I mean? Or do you just not see the point in it, or something put you off it?
I just see it as a commercial bollocks, really. I suppose it's because I don't have children, so you know, it's
When did you start seeing it as a commercial bollocks?
when I was about 25.
Yeah. I mean, as the older you get, you either love Christmas or you do see it as like just a money thing in it.
Yeah. And
Not many people see it as what it is, the true meaning of Christmas. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And this would be like my proper first one, without like my mum. So you know what I mean. So I've kind of like spat my dummy out there. It's just like, nah, Christmas is not for me. Because what happened when my Christmas is, all the family piled round to my mum's, and she only lived in a terraced house. And you know, I've come from quite a big family. We used to all have shifts in terms of who can like go in and have their tea at what time and whatnot, have their Christmas dinner. But yeah, it's without her, it's like that's Christmas is no more type thing. It's like, what's the fucking point?
Yeah, Nikki will tell us all about Christmas. Nikki, are you there? Well, she's gone.
Oh, she's gone straight away.
She always does that, mate. I build her up, then she goes off.
Never met you.
Haven't you? Have you never spoken to her, Nikki?
No. Who's Nikki?
Live follower.
Oh, is it live follower? No, I don't think I've spoken.
Yeah, we call her Nikki on here, mate. It's always controversial. Like I usually get a bit of shit when Nikki's been on, like, but she gets a lot more. Put it that way. Here she is again. Yo.
Hiya, you alright? You alright, guys? Sorry, Big G, hiya.
Hiya.
You alright, Mr. Moon? How does it feel to have a few days off?
Oh, mate, I'm loving it. Loving it. You know, this is only me. It's only my second day off, and out of 2 weeks. So
Only got 2 weeks. Oh, nice.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Oh, nice one. Yeah, lucky if I.
So do you like Christmas? Are you a humbug or are you a Grinch or?
No, I have an hour off now every other day because I can't leave the house now. Things have deteriorated at home, so I can't leave the house now. So I got an hour off yesterday with some care. So I got my black hat, right, a black Santa hat with bar humbug written across the front. I go in the pub and I say, "Can I have a pint, please?" And she says, yeah, Nikki, no problem. Moretti, yeah. And she comes back, she says, "Are you all ready for Christmas? Are you loving it?" And I went, "I'm wearing a fucking black hat with bar humbug on." And she went, yeah. I call people like that Darren Hook, thick as fuck. So we just call people like that Darren Hook. And I went, and I thought, Darren Hook? And I went, well, obviously with a black hat and bar humbug on, it says, "Don't be wishing me happy Christmas. Don't be wishing me fucking all the best." I've come out, I've got a black hat on. And she went, "But you must be enjoying it." I went, "Well, no, the hat says it all, doesn't it?" And honestly, I was absolutely gobsmacked that she thought I was actually going to enjoy it. No, I don't enjoy Christmas. I did when the kids were younger. I loved it.
Yeah.
It was all about the kids. You were busy on screen presents, putting batteries in, all that great stuff. When the kids got to, they were going somewhere else for Christmas Day. Yeah, that, and I've had some. I always worked Christmas. I worked with the kids that didn't have anywhere to go, so you maybe be down to about 9 kids who had literally nowhere to go but
Yeah.
the unit that I worked in. And so I would always do Christmas Day and Boxing Day, and then I would have New Year's Eve and New Year's Day off. So I was
Yeah.
always overworking. So yeah.
So do you think it's a commercial, like what G said, it's just a commercial, like,
Oh, it's
rip-off?
absolutely, honestly. We're expecting a new life, as you well know. I'm expecting it's my great nephew, but I'll become his nana with the
Yeah.
Runsons. And he's due in February. So next year, he'll be about 9 months, 10 months old.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited for next year, for that new lease of life, running around the house, and it's all a bit different. You'll make a bit more effort with decorations. I'm not a bar humbug completely. I don't buy into the massive commercial. I've always put a ticket on Christmas from when they were kids. You get this much at this time, so pick your present. You'd always get them a little bit extra and a bit there and here, but there was always a price tag, because I always knew I had a price tag, and there was always a price tag on the main present.
I'm going to have to
50
go
quid when they were younger, 100 quid when they got to teenage years.
Catch you in a bit, bro.
That special iPhone, then I'll match them.
Yeah.
But I'll only pay half.
Just before I go, can I just say, Phil Graham wears Gola tracksuits and high-tech trainers.
Ain't
I
no wrong
agree.
with a bit of Gola. There's no wrong with a bit of Gola.
I totally agree, mate.
High tech.
That's on it.
But
Oh,
there's
come
no
on,
wrong with a
Nikki.
bit of Gola. We're going back to the 80s.
Come on, Nikki. Don't be doing your image anymore by saying you wear goalless trainers now.
I think if I rooted under the stairs, I could find a set of Gola trainers that I only bought maybe a few years ago.
I'm close to having to kick you off here.
Oh.
Gola or high-tech trainers.
Oh, come on.
You know.
Puma went in. It was the best. It was out. It was cheap. It was nasty. Then it was in. Then it was out. If you look at Lonsdale, I mean, Christ, it's the cheapest thing you can buy. But boxers love the Lonsdale.
You know what it is, right? You know what it is, Nikki. So here's the deal, right? So you've got a brand like Donny. You know Donny.
Oh, Donny, come on.
Now Donny, right? Clothes-wise, everyone disses them, don't they? Absolutely terrible clothes, but tennis rackets, they're the best in the world.
Honestly, you look at any brand and take a look from where it's from. I had a big fascination on brand names and how they came about. About 10 years ago, and I was looking into all sorts of brand names. And because it's not, I bought I got given a K West, I think it was a K West jacket in the 80s. And people were offering me strange money for this K West jacket, and I didn't understand it. People were saying, do you want to sell your jacket, Nikki? And the more everybody said, do you want to sell it? I was saying, no, I don't want to sell it. Because I thought, what is it with this jacket? And it turned out it was a French designer name for the Alps, when you were skiing in the Alps. And it was this brand name, and it was worth an absolute arm and a bloody leg.
See, what makes it worth an arm and a leg, though, somebody's putting a name on something. There's only so much quality you can get in a clothing, isn't there? You can't.
Well, there is, and there isn't. Good quality clothes. I can feel good quality clothes all day long, every day. But what's good quality, and then what is your brand name? I never wear shit clothes. I don't. I'll go to a charity shop first and buy good stuff second hand. And I go to vintage markets and things like that to buy Levi's and Wranglers. Because you just can't find them in the average shop now anymore.
So what do you think about copies? You know, these. You know, you can go to these.
Oh,
say Canada Goose, right? A Canada Goose winter coat,
I bought
£500 or whatever,
I got
and then you get the
£600.
snides for now.
I can show you it. Last year, a 6 foot lad, one of my lads, one of my nephews, you know, that I so cruelly treat, turned up to his mate, said, I've just bought this jacket and actually it's too short in the arms for me. And he's 6'2", and the fucking thing nearly came up to his elbows. And beautiful jacket, dead slim. And he said, do you know anyone who wants to buy it, Nicky? And I said, well, actually, is that the real McCoy? He said, yeah. And I said, you know, I'll buy it off you. And he said it was 350 quid. And I went, maybe out of my league. I didn't know what name I was dealing with. I said, a bit out of my league, mate. I don't mind. And he said, no, I'll give it you for 100 quid, Nicky. And I was like, why are you giving it for me for 100 quid? But he was my lad's best mate, so I didn't think he'd dupe me. Anyway, when I look into it, it is the real McCoy. And I've got that Canadian dubbed down. It's a little bit too young for me, but I wear it because it's fucking cold up here, and that stuff goes to -30.
That's it. See, when
And
you buy
it
these,
makes me sweat if I'm walking in it plus anything. For me, it just makes me sweat. There's no breathability in it. When I go out and it's minus something over the last few weeks and last year, bloody hell. It's like a different world. It's like wearing a water bottle around you.
So last week when we all had this -6, that cold spell, it was bad, wasn't it? Like for a few days.
Bad. Yeah.
So what was the worst it got for you? Like Nicky, what were you doing
-9.
different? What were you doing different to what?
-9. I had to put an oil heater in me. My mum, I have her bed in the living room, so she's always part of the family that come in and out. Got busy house. So our bed's now in the living room, so I hang around there. I put an extra heater because my heating wouldn't get above fucking 17 degrees. It just wouldn't. I couldn't heat the house. I couldn't. It just wasn't making it. So I had to put an extra heater in the room, an oil heater, one of them up and over things, or an oil heater. And stop the dogs going in there. So I put a little wrappy around the door so the dogs wouldn't keep opening it and letting the heat out. So as long as she was warm, I can always.
Basically, that was all day. Then you'll have had them on all day. Like as long as you were in the house, they felt cold. If you turned them off, it went cold straight away, didn't it?
I've turned the oil heater off, but I can't turn the heating off. My mum once told me I was about 21, living on my own. Lived on my own since I was 18 and kicked out. And I said, Mum, I'm so cold, and I didn't put the heating on. And she went, you put the heating on. You never go cold or you never go hungry because you can always pay for it later.
Yeah.
And I thought she's right.
That's what's happening, isn't it? That's what's happening now.
My philosophy right now is the heating is so expensive. I don't care. I'm staying with exactly the temperature my mum needs to be at, which is 25 degrees all day long, all day, all night. It's on 24 hours a day. I don't have any heating anywhere else in the house. Upstairs and in the extension, I've turned the heating off, but my mum's room and the rooms we use are all 25 degrees day and night.
Isn't it mad though how like it's built up to this right at Christmas time when the prices and they're still going up now? How it's built up to the worst time of the year.
People are gonna die. Without a shadow of a doubt, people are gonna die.
I've definitely felt it more this week than I have any other time. Like as you get older,
I've been cold. My mum has a saying: wrap more shirt round it, and it is that. Stick a cardi on, put a jumper on, stick that extra bit on. I like walking around in the house in shorts and a t-shirt.
Yeah.
But I've had to put trackies on while I'm in the house, an extra jumper, and I don't like it because I can't move around as well. So I don't like it, but I have had to do it.
Yeah, I think everyone's done a little bit extra last week, a little something that they've never had to do before, or they haven't
They
done
reckon we're
all
getting
year.
another
You know what I mean?
cold spell over Christmas and New Year, don't they? Another 10-day fucking.
Are we?
Mm,
Are we going to get any snow? Like?
No snow, just a freeze. Just a deep
Yeah.
freeze.
I know somebody who's just gone to Iceland today for Christmas. Would you like
That's
that?
when you dress to impress, don't you? You dress to absolutely. I mean, when you, I've been watching some Russian guy. I've been right obsessed the last 2 weeks on this Russian guy, and it's all subtitles, and I'm not right good at fucking watching subtitles. But you get the picture that these
Yeah.
villages that are out there in Russia, way out, fucking 70 miles in the middle of nowhere, and the government gives them land and they build these wooden houses. But yet most of the year, they're fucking absolutely freezing cold. And he goes round and he looks at some of these people, and I'm thinking, oh my God, God forbid me, fucking there for the grace of God. Am I in that situation? I'm in a warm house. My mum's well looked after. My kids are well looked after. And everybody's all right. They're all warm and they're all safe.
Yeah, man.
You know? And I
That's all
watch
what it's
these
all about.
things and I think, oh my God, how do you even survive at sort of minus 25 and minus 40
You know, yeah.
degrees?
And everything functions as well, though, doesn't it? The
Well,
whole
they're
country
driving on these
functions.
ice roads.
Them
They're
ice
driving on ice
truckers.
roads.
I mean, there's a bit of black ice on the road out there. People aren't going to work, and then you see them ice truckers, what they drive through the snow and all that. Fuck that.
We're totally pathetic, Moon. Any sort of extreme weather condition, whatever it is, rain, snow, sunshine, whatever it is, it fucking even I've even known that. I think it was a couple of years ago when we had those giant golf ball size
Yeah.
hailstones, and they were smashing windows, and people were going, "Don't go outside," and I was like, "Fuck me."
Yeah, definitely getting weirder, the weather. Like, I mean, up until that tsunami, had you ever heard of a tsunami? Remember it on Boxing Day?
No, I didn't know.
I didn't know what a tsunami was.
No.
But apparently every time there's an earthquake,
it'd start with a T.
every time there's an earthquake now, there's a tsunami, but that's always been the case.
No.
Just no one ever mentioned the tsunamis.
I think it's we're more knowledgeable about our world now, aren't we? I mean, you wouldn't know that information years gone by. I've been listening to a lot of little clips about and I'm not bringing it into the thing, but I've listened to the Irish going on about. I don't know whether I think they're Northern Irish, but they're going on about all this Irish political stuff, and I'm thinking, God, you know, I remember my dad sitting me down and telling me about the Troubles. I knew them as the Troubles. In the 70s, and I didn't understand why my dad was shouting at the telly, and you know, and he wasn't an aggressive man. He was the most placid man in the world, but he'd be shouting at the news, and I'd say, "Daddy, why are you shouting?" And he'd sit me down and he'd try and explain that these people were fighting over a religion. He wouldn't tell me about all the nasty stuff. He'd just tell me that they were fighting, and I think, and I'm still listening to this shit.
It's mad, isn't it? Because it's something that I'm a bit naive to, the Troubles in Ireland, but because I know it's down to Protestants and Catholics and that, and
Well,
it
we
goes
all
back
know it's
hundreds
down
of
to
years.
a religious basis, but to be bringing it up now, still about the troubles that are going on, I think that people who have got an issue with the troubles that are still going on should have a separate channel and not bring it. I don't care whether you're black, white, blue, pink, orientated, fucking rainbow coloured. What, I don't care. I was brought up in a foster family in Liverpool that were multiracial, by fucking everything, and I didn't give a shit. I've never looked at it. So for me to be listening to, oh, he's having a go at me because I'm this and I'm like, oh, I'm the Scottish and the Irish. depending on what side you are there, all links
Do
into
you
it.
think, right? Do you think out of all the cultures that I know, right, or all the like Americans, out of every country, I think the Irish know with one word or two words that they could trigger somebody,
Oh,
and I
absolutely.
don't understand that. But it's like I've
I
seen
don't
words
understand
pop
it
up, and
now.
they really take offence to these words, and I'm like, what does that mean? But to an Irishman, it's
Yeah.
like, no, you know what I mean?
I don't understand it now. I used to understand it when bigotry and racism between races or culture or religion went at it. I was the subject of it for all my life. I had what was known as, and I use the word, and I don't even want to say the full word, but the spars. I had a brother who was cerebral palsy, quadriplegic cerebral palsy, and that word. And then I had a brother who was Jamaican, and I was Greek, and my parents were white Scouse English, white Scouse English. So I was brought up in the late 70s, well, in the 70s and the 80s, having that thrown at me all day, every day. Your brother is and your other brother is an N word, and your other brother is an S word. And I was like, what do you mean? And I was literally, what do you mean? I didn't understand it because it didn't happen in our house.
Do you know what's totally weird, right? This is how weird this is, right? I was talking to my son today, and I mentioned a program we got on about, and I mentioned that a program from the 70s, or I think it was the 70s, Love Thy Neighbour or something.
Love
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Where and I was trying to tell my son, I said, watch one episode of that, and you'll realise what it used to be like. Is that the one where they used to get? It was the black bloke living next door, white bloke, wasn't it?
Yeah. I tell you what. My mum, they were emergency foster carers, and my brother was born in 61, and so he came to the family in 63, way before I was born.
You're up there.
And he was a foster kid. They got this foster kid, 18 months old, and she had him in a pram. And she said all her friends, all of a sudden, would cross over the road. And this is what my mum would say to me. Men would cross over the road and spit at the side of the pram because my mother had a black baby inside that pram. We're talking Liverpool. We're talking
what year?
Liverpool.
In the 70s.
We're talking in the 60s. We're talking in Liverpool.
Yeah.
And they were spitting at the side of her pram. She said, my mum didn't know what she was doing when she did it. She wasn't no activist, no, she didn't know what she was doing until years and years later when I was telling her, do you know how brave you were then? She went, no. He was just a little boy that wanted a home.
Yeah.
And that's all she saw. That is all she saw. And she was spat at. People would look in the pram and say, oh, have you got a new baby? Are you fostering a new baby? Look in the pram and turn away from her in the street.
Yeah. Like I said, it's. I know they say that there's still a problem with the police and racism in the police force and that, but we are 100 times better than we used to be, like in England. I think anyway.
I've never seen it, so I have to watch politically racist programs. Not very often, but I have to remind myself that it exists in the world, even though I've had to. My brother ended up being 6'4" and built like the side of the brick shit house and being the most nastiest man I'd ever wished to meet before I actually came on YouTube, because I've heard some fucking pretty nasty shit on YouTube. But anyway, so
yeah, it's like, well, he's an example, Nicky, right? If you attack somebody in the street, if you assault somebody, right? Fair enough, you assaulted them, right? But if you call them, if they happen to be black, right, or coloured, if you call them something while you're battering them, then it goes into another level of racism, doesn't it?
Absolutely, but why would you?
and
Why
you
would
get
you
money,
call
you get
somebody
time
like?
added onto a sentence for that. It's a different
Oh,
thing altogether.
absolutely. But why would you? If
Mm.
like I say, multiracial family, never ever. I obviously see colour. I'm not stupid. I obviously see colour, but it just, I don't even take people at face value. I don't even see the cover, because I was always taught as a young person never to see the cover. Always read the book first, and never
Yeah, yeah,
read the cover.
yeah.
So I was always taught like that from a very, very young age. We had a mixed race family. I was always taught it doesn't matter whether somebody's handicapped. That was the word then. I'm going back to the words. Whether somebody's handicapped or disfigured or blind or deaf or coloured or any other race in the world, it doesn't matter. You must take the person as they are. And if you don't like that person as they are, then you don't like that person. But it's not because of anything else.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that's
yeah.
the way. I got it, like tea and coffee. I got it drummed into me, as absolutely drummed into me, and I don't see it. And for me, I have to remind myself that it exists.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the best way to put it. I have to remind myself that it really does exist in the world, and it's brutal. I remember 2 boys spitting on my brother from a balcony in a shopping centre, because I was sat outside with him shouting the most, I can't
Yeah.
say the words because I don't like them, the S word and the spat and all this, and my mum came out and she went, and she looked at me. I was about 13 years old, and she looked at me and she said, "Don't do it." And I looked at her as if to say, "I've got to." And I ran up these stairs and I chased down these 2 fucking boys. And I literally, when you say bang their heads together, I was 13. I was 4 foot fucking nothing. The anger in me that they'd spat in my brother's face for no other reason than he was in a wheelchair. That's it.
Yeah.
For absolutely no other reason. And I literally, the adrenaline in my body, I literally picked up. It was a pair of twins, it turned out to be. And I literally smashed their faces together and made a mess of them. 3 hours later, their parents were on my on my mum's doorstep. And my mum explained the story because their faces were smashed in. I don't know how I did it. I didn't punch them. I just literally picked a pair of them up and smashed their faces together. And once
Bit naughty that,
my
like
mum
Nicky, isn't it?
explained what had happened, she turned round and said, "I am so sorry. I am so sorry." It turned out that we came in, they looked at Jason, we explained about him and how he was like he was, and it wasn't his fault, and and it turned out a good experience. But for me, I had to always protect him.
Yeah.
So I hate all that when they call it all them words, because for me the word that begins with S is as bad as the word that begins with N. It doesn't exist in my world. I can't.
I think that most people are like that, Nick. Most people are the same, Nicky. You know what I mean? That's
Most
what I mean.
people are, though, but
In this generation, they are. The ones that aren't, they're not good people, are they? Really?
No.
You know what I mean? But we're
Never had to
England's
pretend
going
to
in the
mark
right
to that because
direction.
I could explain. But at 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, I couldn't. I didn't
Yeah.
understand it. Why would you pick up my beautiful brother? He's beautiful. Look at his eyes. Look how handsome he is. Look how this he is. Look, I couldn't understand it.
Yeah. Yeah. But like the stuff I was telling my son about today about on that show, it was stuff that I mean, you can still watch the shows now. I'm surprised that you can still go and watch them on channels,
Well, who was that?
because
Who was
the
the
most
guy
recent,
that Alf Garner?
I think it was Alf Garner. I think it was him who plays Alf Garner. Yeah,
Honestly, it was vile stuff. When you look at it now, But I knew it was vile stuff then. I
Yeah.
remember watching that shit.
It's one of the funniest shows, though, at the time. Like, it was a big show, you know what I mean? It had loads of series and whatever. And but can you remember? Did you ever watch Little Britain?
Yeah.
Well, people thought that was funny at the time, but now that's been banned off nearly all channels. You can't watch that stuff
Again,
because
I just got. I couldn't understand. There's a level that you can go to with comedy, and I guess it's what artistic license, and I get that there's a level you can go to, and you can choose whether you want to listen to that level of humour.
So did you like Little Britain? Could you see any of the funny side of Little Britain?
No.
See, I could at the time, but I wasn't big into it. But I could see where it was going, like, and a lot of people watched it. You know, it was a big show. But I think it was more bad taste, wasn't it? It was for the bad taste that people don't watch that.
People like bad taste. I mean, come on. When you look at some of the channels at the moment, the bad taste that's going on is absolutely crucially vile at the moment. Maybe it's because I'm taking a little bit more flack than maybe I'm usually used to. Maybe it's because I see the contradiction in terms that's going on. Maybe people trying to run other people's channels, and I just think, oh my God, it's actually getting a little bit too complicated for me.
It seems to have just took a funny little turn from, like, it's gone more into paranoia, I think, now. Like, the lives I seen yesterday was all about, like, worrying about who you're getting on your panel and, you know, all the conspiracy theories and everything.
That Mr. English wasn't crossy at all because he came on and he showed his voice.
Yeah, that was an example, and that just got brushed under the carpet for me.
People have been going in on this poor fella,
yeah.
And I'm thinking, I don't think you are that fella, and I don't really give a shit, but I actually don't think you are the fella that people are accusing you of being. And he must have just got sick to fucking death and thought, I'll just go on a fucking panel.
Well, I listened to it on the night, and it was weird because Archie thought they were joking. Archie said I knew it wasn't Crossy, but Expo was on the same panel and insisted it was Crossy. But when they come on, Archie went, "Oh, I didn't know you thought it was. I thought you were messing about." He said, "No, he's definitely not Crossy." So all that going in on him for the last week or whatever for nothing. The poor lad, you know what I mean?
Do you know, I really don't give a shit who's who. I don't get involved. I have my say, and it is beginning to do me head in. It is, Moon, about the dog nonsense thing and the fucking slitting. Right, we've done it, and now we're still getting showed every single day on every single panel. It's getting on me wick. You can quite obviously see that yes, it looks wrong camera angle. But anybody in their right mind, I'm a 57-year-old woman. Why would I be doing that on a live where I'm casually talking anyway? And, and it doesn't, I can explain it 1,000 times over. They're still using what I call a false narrative. They're still using a lie to absolutely go in on me. And they're doing it on every channel. Now, what I said about Shuffling and Archie and whatever, they were really nice people when they started coming on lives. Cheeky, bit nice, bit cheeky, bit lovely. Archie was absolutely hardly didn't swear, and Shuffling was like dark mad and thingy bob. And now the pair of them, and it does what I'm not going to go into it.
I don't want to start slagging anyone off on here like either of us, because
I never said one word out of wrong. I never said anything about him. Oh, they're going on about, you can't have a drink when you've not got your kid. It's not just a drink with Shuffling. It's a litre of fucking gin with diabetes. So I'm not going to go on about
we'll leave that one, So, Nikki, needs a question. Do you have New Year's resolutions?
Well,
is it something that you've done over the years?
To do with,
But you do believe in New Year's resolutions, though. You've tried it before. You've thought, right, I'm going to wait till New Year.
I make a mission at New Year by the time that the next New Year comes round, I won't be in the same position as I was last New Year. So yeah.
Yeah.
And what is my new
Yeah,
year?
I do as well. I think it's one of them traditions that like everyone still does. You know, New Year's resolution,
I
or the
don't think
majority
mine's
of
much
people
of a
do. Like,
resolution that I'm going to achieve something. I just don't want to be in the same predicament without making. Last year was about getting new glasses. I hadn't got new glasses for 4 years while I'd been home looking after my mum. I didn't have the time.
yeah.
They ended up that scratched. That last year's resolution was Auntie Nikki is buying new glasses. Come what may, this year Auntie Nikki is having new glasses. And by March, I had my 2 new pairs of glasses. So, but it wasn't a
Oh, so you've kept
resolution.
up
It was
to
just,
yours then.
huh?
You've kept up to your resolutions then. There's not many people do they really?
Yeah,
Let's
it's
face it.
not a resolution as much as something's going to
Something
change
you got
in
to
this
get done.
year,
Yeah,
which will better me next year.
yeah,
And of course, we got
yeah.
the grandbaby coming in the first week of February. So this year, it's just like I just hope he comes into the world safely, and
Mm.
let's get my mum. Because there's nothing more than my niece wants than to get that ultimate photograph with my mum and the new baby, so we can see his great grandma before anything happens. So, and things are looking that way. So,
Might chill you out a bit, eh, Nicky? You reckon?
no.
Have a little
Where
baby
do I
around,
get not chill? Mr.
gonna,
McBride, I'm going to ask you a few questions now.
come
Where do I
on.
get not chilled? When have you seen me lose my temper?
Maybe that wasn't the right word then.
I don't lose my temper.
Maybe bite your tongue a bit more then, whatever the word is for that.
Yeah, no, that's not going to happen. No, I might not be here, because I'll have a baby and a niece to look after and my mum and my other mum, my Greek mum's coming up on the second week of January and staying for like 3 months.
Mm.
So yeah, I might not be here, but I'll never be any different when I am here, because I actually don't tell lies. And I don't go with false narratives or twisted truths. I actually go with, I see what I see, and I make an opinion based on what I see.
Right. So do you think, right? So you've just said there that you don't think you won't change, right? So do you think that people who admit that they dive in with both feet or they go in and say things that just spring to the mind, do you think that when they look back, they do think that they need to change a little bit, or they wish they weren't like that?
I think some people have got to. I don't know whether people listen back to themselves. That's the big difference. I've been quite shocked by exposure the last few days.
Mm.
Um, because he settled down. There was a period of
Mm.
time where he settled down, and I don't listen to exposure. I listen to him via Clipper channels, and if I have to go back, I go back and look, because for
Mm.
me, it's just a gang of criminals on exposure. That's how that's how I see exposure TV.
Right. So don't slip back into that again and like talking about channels and stuff though, Nicky, because
Oh
like
no, no, all right. So
I can't
I
do with it. I
see.
just mean like in general. Do you think that people who jump in with 2 feet, do you think, oh well, I wish I wasn't like that, or I need to stop being that bad? Do you think, or doesn't that, is that not?
People don't listen back to themselves, and
No,
if
even
they
without
did,
listening back, you know, when you've caused a reaction, like anyone does, you know what I mean? And like,
do I wish I'd? No, I don't. There's not one thing that I say on the internet that isn't what I perceive as being what I have picked up visually, hearingly. I have picked up, and I have got an opinion about. I can't change that opinion, and I will never be any different to picking up of that opinion. So I guess that other people that do when you go off screaming and shouting, I think that everybody looks back and think, "Oh my God, what a cunt I made of myself." But
Yeah.
people don't see themselves how they come across. Honestly, I wish I was a good clipper and editor that I could put stuff out really quickly, and to show people up, because one day they say I never bully women. I would never go in on a bully a woman, especially a bloody 60-year-old woman. Yet the next day they're going rampant into somebody else or me and I think, hey, I wish I
Do you
could
know?
clip those things together and just go, hey.
Do you know what it is though? There's a few channels, right? I've only just realised, right, that the biggest. I'm looking at these channels that are popping up now. Truth with truth in the title, right, and like outing people and basically looking at all the lives, dissecting them, and picking out like the narrative or whatever, and saying it with incognito, so no one knows who they are.
Yeah.
And when I think about it, the biggest one was Apollo. The biggest one was Apollo. He took it to the next level where people liked him because he was saying what other people thought, but they wouldn't say it on a platform, or not enough
Now
people
you
would
see,
say it.
that's a bit like me. I will say
Mm,
it. You see, I'm
mm,
not doing anything. People that I'm saying stuff about don't like it because I'm telling them the truth.
mm,
I'm
yeah.
telling them the
So,
truth. I'm not lying. Nobody
yeah.
can say I'm lying. That's why nobody comments on my videos. And I'm really glad that nobody comments. I'm really glad, because they
So,
don't disagree with me or agree with me, but they don't feel that they can say anything on there because it's controversial.
but
I
what the
am no
point I'm
different in
trying to get
real life,
point
Moon.
the point I'm trying to get across, Nick, I'm trying to understand
Go on.
Nicky, right? As someone who I've got on with for a long time, right, on here, and a lot of people don't like you. Let's face it, right?
No, they
But
don't. No, they don't.
I'm trying to understand that what makes you say what you're thinking, right? When you know that all the trouble that you're going to get back from it, usually, like, does
It,
that outweigh? Does that outweigh the
ADHD.
feeling of speaking your mind? Does that outweigh it?
I am no different, Moon. Honestly, I would like to say I am a character and I do it out of this sort of wind people up. I am no different in real life. Absolutely no different in real life. I was diagnosed 4 years ago, taking back a year there, with ADHD. I just have no filters. I say it as it is, as I see it. And I
Right.
see it more deeply, probably, than most people see things. I
I'll totally admit,
could
Nicky,
go to
right? There's
town,
times
Moon,
when
on every single person on YouTube. I could go to town on them. I don't choose to do that because that would bring me a load of hassle. I choose to go into the ones that I go in. I go in at that go in at me.
right,
That's the only ones.
there's a question on there, right? We might as well get it over with, yeah. About me and Daryl are good mates and that, and you had your little episode with Daryl. So what was that about? He's saying like
Honestly,
do you still hate him and stuff? I don't
it
think you
was.
hate him, do you?
Oh, I
It's
don't hate Daryl. No, not at all. What happened was I was talking to Moon, and somebody had blanked me out. So I thought sorry, Ministries, and I'll jump on and just say, "Hey, Ministry, I've just been timed out for just saying hi." And I thought Ministry would say, "Right, no, don't be doing that. Come on, whoever it is that doesn't like her, stop timing her out because there's no need." That's what I thought would happen. Then what happened? Daryl jumped on and said, Ministry, I want to ask her something. I went, hang on. I'm trying to ask. So I was trying to find out who'd time me out in the chat or whatever, or block me or whatever. That's why I jumped on, because I didn't agree with it, because all I'd said was, hi, Ministry, whatever. And then Daryl just jumped in with something, and it really fucking ragged me up, because that's not what I went on there for. I went on to ask why I was timed out. Thought ministry would say, fair enough, you know, who's timed her out? No need for that. Leave her be. And then Daryl had jumped on and was overriding ministry to ask me something, and that really annoyed me. So I said, please don't interrupt what I'm saying. Please don't interrupt him. And actually, I mean, to be fair, Daryl, you do talk over your guests. You do. And that's what I told you. You took offence at that. And Bob's
Right.
right.
That was worthy of you making a video, like pretty much off the cuff straight after it. That you
Straight
thought you were that
I was
angry.
showing Daryl. I was actually showing Daryl what had actually happened. I think the title was "What Actually Happened," so that people could see that I was talking to ministry and Daryl was over talking me and ministry to get a question to me straight in without listening. That's why I
Right.
made it so Daryl could see
Right.
what had actually
Right.
happened.
Right. So, Nikki, do you think that the people that watched that video, when they'd watched it, they were still on your side or Daryl's side?
Oh, Daryl's side. Nobody likes me, Moon.
So what? Why make the video though if you know that
It
it's
was
not
to
going
tell
to do anything?
Daryl what had actually happened, because sometimes when you talk on a live, you don't hear what happens. So it was to simply play the bit and show Daryl what had actually happened and why I said he was over talking me and Moon, because I was having a conversation with Moon, not him.
You know what?
Ministry.
It's not even about the details of what happened and why you did it. It's just the fact that you did it. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter what happened and who said what
only
or
used
anyone.
my channel to prove a point.
Yeah, that's a good answer. That's what I was looking for. Like, because you had no other option, really, did you?
I don't have an option. People ban me and block me and everything I say. So the only option I have is to show it, explain it. Once it's dealt with, I delete the video.
So what you're saying is you wouldn't have done that if you were allowed in the chat, would you?
I wouldn't do that if.
Could you have got that point across in a chat? Was it the fact you'd been banned out of a chat as well, or?
No, I wasn't banned out of a chat. Had Daryl just waited for me to finish my conversation with ministry and then said, can I ask you something? I would have said, yeah, no problem if you want to. I've dealt with that situation that I came on to do. I'd only literally jumped in, out. That's all I wanted to do. To say to ministry, why is somebody blocking me for saying hi? I think I've got every right to ask that.
Right. So Daryl said there, right? He accepts that he talks over people, right? That's just Daryl. You know what I mean? Now I think Daryl says lads too much, but I wouldn't make a video about it, or I wouldn't like it. Doesn't warrant anything.
Show him what he was doing. I literally did a short video. If he's taken offence by me,
he isn't.
Then that's his problem, not mine.
I'm just trying. It doesn't have to be personal now, because I'm pretty sure that Daryl's willing to just forget about it all. You know what I mean? But
I went on Daryl's when he was poorly the other week, and I asked him, had he done that? Please get some this. Please, I had forgotten all about the issue, issue, because I was saying, please, you know, if it really is, please look after your health. Go to. I was perfectly normal and happy with him. So I don't see why that situation is coming right back up. But do I go on his lives? No, because he talks over his guests. That's how I see it, and I can't bear not to listen to somebody's story when somebody's interrupting them all the time. So
he tells bad jokes as well. Like there's that as well. His jokes are terrible as well. You've been looking at any of my jokes, Nikki, that I've been putting out?
I haven't. I don't do jokes. I don't. I don't
I've been putting
jokes out unless they're really funny.
Man, they're the best. Just have a go and have a look at one of my jokes.
I can't, because it might make me not like you anymore. And I don't want that to happen. So I've looked and I've thought, Moon.
So what you're saying, Nikki, is
no, and I'm not listening to it.
this is how close you are to not be to not liking me as if I tell you a bad joke.
A bad joke is a bad joke. A shit joke is, I judge people by their shoes and their backyard.
Oh yes, you've got something in common with Pandeco. Then get in there, because Pandeco said that. He said you can tell a lot by someone's shoes.
Oh, I was brought up old school. Tell a lot by somebody's shoes. My dad always said you can tell a lot by somebody's shoes. And as I've grown up, I can also tell a lot by somebody's backyard. Right?
Nikki,
keep a scruffy backyard and you've got scruffy shoes on. I ain't involving myself with you. I'm not.
So I said to Quaver last night on Daryl's Live, I said, right, Quaver, I said, think of this situation. You've met this guy on the internet, or no, not on the internet, forget about that. You've met this guy and you've been talking, and you really like him. He's dead attractive, he's dead funny, he gets you. He comes to pick it up for the first date and he's got boat shoes on, right? I said, what do you do? She was like, he's got to go, like, close the door on him. Over what shoes he had on.
Yeah, well, I mean, Daryl will back me up here, and I have been a part of this culture. Sadly, living in Liverpool, if you've not got the right kit on and you've not got the right shoes on, which is an absolute terrible. Now I've been away from it. It's a terrible trait. And I still hear grown men on these channels say, look at the fucking kip of you. Look at you in your fucking this shoes and your that. And they're 45-year-old men. I'm thinking, get the fuck over, man. Right? But it's still a thing. It's still a thing. And, if you didn't have the right kit on, you're fucked. You're absolutely fucked.
So is that vanity? Where does vanity start? What would you describe that as? Like thinking.
For me, it's a Liverpool thing. My dad taught the shoe thing wasn't about the Liverpool thing. I'm just saying that was one part of shoes in my life. The other part was old enough to be. You came home and you got a good pair of Clark shoes to go to school in. You came home, you had to rub them down. Your dad would spit and polish them of a weekend. Sorry, you didn't have a puppy. I know that. I listened to your story the other day. But, my dad would go out into the extension. We'd have to spit and polish. And because he was in the army, so we'd have to spit and polish our shoes of a weekend, polish them. Every night you'd have to give them a rub over. And every day you went to school in beautiful, shiny shoes. They might be 2 years old and they might be cramping your fucking feet. But they still looked the part.
There's nothing wrong with that, though, is there really?
There isn't.
Nothing wrong with cleaning your shoes. It's no worse.
I did, to a point. It wasn't about polishing shoes then, but there was a little bit where my lad got into black boots. Obviously, in school, he was allowed to wear black boots, and I did teach him about polishing boots But it was something from my childhood that I was teaching him about, this is how you look after boots. And they know that Auntie Nikki looks after her shoes because, I have a £160 pair of handmade brogue Barber shoes because we go to certain events that you might need to look the part country-wise. I have a £160 wear of Chelsea boots. But I've had them for 20 years, Moon. I take them to the cobblers still. And they still look brand new shoes. So it's all about, like, if you don't take care of the very things that hold your body up, which is your feet and your shoes, then,
Let's get it right. Let's get it right. Dirty shoes is not. Who wants to see dirty shoes on somebody?
Nobody.
Even a bit of mud, you rub it off. When you get in, you rub it off.
Interviews at school, what were they called? Like career interviews.
Yeah.
And I remember them telling us, like, tips to go to interviews. And I remember them saying, look somebody in the eye, shake their hand. Well, my dad had taught me a good firm handshake. So I always had that. And I always knew to look somebody in the eye. And they'd say, and always wear clean shoes. No matter how bad the shoes are, make sure they're clean.
Start from the bottom, innit?
Innit? Those are very things that carry you through life, aren't they? Your feet and your shoes.
But feet are still a bit weird, you know. I did a short the other week, right, with just showing my feet. I was laid on the bed and I was wiggling my toes, right? It got tucked down.
Listen, Moon, you and your
YouTube took
wiggling
it down.
backside and you and your wiggling... I'm not seeing the wiggling toes. I don't want to see it, Moon. I might change my opinion of you.
Yeah, you would definitely, like.
I would.
Definitely
I would. Right. Don't do... You know, people pay you good money for wiggling your toes, Moon.
Exactly. That's where I thought. I thought, like... And then when I thought, I don't think I've ever seen a video on YouTube of wiggly feet.
You know,
and that's why.
Broad-minded. You know, yeah, really broad-minded, but I don't know where the feet thing comes from.
So would you go that far? What Pandeco's saying here, religiously uses the towel after his bath to clean the shoes for the day, then dry them too. Obviously, the towel then goes in the wash after that, but that's Pandeco's. That's what he does with his shoes. It's a new one on me, like, but not a bad idea, mate. But yeah, shoes. When you think about it, they are like, if someone's got dirty shoes, what's that say about them? Daryl, if you listen, mate, 6 o'clock's fine because I was going to wrap this up. You know, I've been going for a good few hours now. This is my second one, so if you want to, do you want to do it a bit earlier, mate? Nikki's just gone off there, by the way. I didn't kick her off. I know probably a lot of you would have wanted us to, but didn't. I was trying to get a bit more out of Nikki, you know what I mean? She's back. So, Daryl, get your live fed up. So I'm only doing another 5 minutes, mate. Yo.
Sorry, my Greek mummy rang me, so I didn't realise.
I've just said there, I'm only doing another 5 or 10 minutes, Nikki, because this is my second one today. This.
Come back on and say hi, pal, unless you've got anything else to.
So what?
Daryl, I've no problem. I've no problem with you, fellow Liverpudlian. I get that, but I don't have this clingy thing to Liverpool. Liverpool is my heart. You'll never walk alone is in my absolute blood, right? But I don't stick by every scouser that comes along going, right? That's all I want to say. There's a lot more to Liverpool than these few scousers that want to think it's all okay. Listen, a little girl died a couple of months ago and was shot. Did anybody give up the fucking man? Take a look at the facts. Liverpool and scousers aren't all what they don't want to come out of Liverpool because they're protected within their little own communities. And I am a scouser. I am a true.
Well, you did.
Scouser.
You know what? You started that really well there, Nikki. Like you said you had no problem with Daryl, and then you went downhill from there.
I was talking generally then. Generally. I'm just saying, I have no problem with Daryl.
That's good then. That's good.
I was dealing with that I jumped on to dealt with, and then he went and I just thought I've just got to show you exactly what you did, and that's all I put the video out was to show him exactly how he jumped in at me before I'd actually dealt with. But then today, ministry allowed. I saw something. Ministry allowed shuffling to shuffling and Archie absolutely annihilate me on a panel, and then say to the next person, Shuffling said, "Oh, I'm sorry, Moon. Sorry, ministry. Is this okay?" And he went, "Yeah, just go ahead." And they carried on annihilating me for a situation that isn't true. So I was dead disappointed in that.
Yeah, it's just
really
like you say, Nikki, right? You don't want to change or anything, right? So it's just this is just going to keep. It's going to keep happening, though, isn't it?
I am who I am.
I know. I know. All I'm saying, Nikki, is just like it's you obviously you can handle it. You know what I mean? You know that usually when you come on a panel, you usually get a bit of grief for anything that you say. As long as you can handle it right, then that's all right. But sometimes I just don't see why sometimes you could just bite your tongue that little bit more.
Yeah.
And that's just from me to you as an opinion, you know what I mean?
And story of my life, Moon.
Yeah. Well, I know.
Hello, it's me.
Right, Davey, lad, have you done all that rapping?
I've only gone and done it, haven't I?
Fucking hell.
Record, mate. 70 presents in 3 hours. Get him, boy.
Oh, is that the proper Dave? Everyone's got a wig on at the moment that looks like Dave.
Yeah.
I don't know when Dave comes on.
Yeah. There's
Well,
about 5 of them like that now.
I know.
Started the right trend
I'm
off,
only
haven't
on a phone. I can only ever work my thing, so I can see it's Dave. Now, you see,
So
something that I said to Dave blew out of all proportion. And it wasn't quite meant because I don't have that much time to say what I need to say, so I need to say it as it is. And I said something to Dave in a chat. He knows what I'm on about, don't you, Dave?
Yeah.
Right? So I said something to Dave because I wanted to know more about his life than what he was consistently telling us. I wanted to know, like, loads of different things about how his addiction affected this, that, and the other. And I said something really to the point, really brutal. A lot of people picked up on it and said, "Oh, you're fucking bullying Dave, you're fucking bullying Dave." And I was like, fuck, here I go again. I've said it really short and sweet.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? It's not mincing your words. It's not mincing your words. And that doesn't go down well with a lot of people.
I explained that to Dave and he understood it quite quickly. I said, no, I wasn't meaning that. I just meaning I want to know more about it, not just what you're saying. Give us some context to it. Give me what your wife thinks. Give me what give me what your mum. I want to know lots of things, not just that one story over and over again. And I wasn't meaning that negative to Dave.
Yeah, so it's the way you're saying it as well, isn't it? Then,
shape or form. I was wanting to give him. I like the guy. I just wanted to give him some advice to tell us a bit more rather than just the same thing. And then loads of people picked up on it. Loads of people went in on me and I was like, oh, whatever. I just didn't mean that. And I think Dave knows.
Yeah, of course I did.
Mean that.
Of course I did.
And I
that's
just
good then.
took a load of shit for a while thinking, well, actually, Dave, from what he was saying, he knows what I was saying.
Yeah. Well, it would be good if everyone was like Dave then, wouldn't it? You wouldn't have a problem. You'd be able to say what you thought and get no comeback. But
do you know how I saw that, Nikki? I just saw that as constructive criticism. That's all I saw it as. I didn't see it as like me personally or anything like that.
I just didn't mean it was any sort of malice at all. I was just like, I know your story, Dave. I've heard your story. Tell me about, like, what it was getting off the stuff. Tell me what it was like 2 months later. Tell me what it was like.
I think we all want to know that. We all want to know that. I want to
detail. I want to know what it feels like because I have never been there. So I just don't want an overview. I want to know detail. I want to know about a situation, different, I just, that's all that I was meaning. Just tell us more.
In the new year, I've got some videos lined up. I'm going to put up and I'm going to explain certain things and different aspects of it. And so,
I certainly, Dave, didn't mean any sort of malice in any way. I'm just a deeper person and want to know more.
Do you know what it is with you, Nikki? I think people take it the wrong way. There's not enough people like you on YouTube who say it as say it as they see it. I'm like that myself, and my mouth's got trouble a lot of times on here.
Having to do it, and it does get to you there. And at the moment, this dog wanking thing and this fucking honestly, it's getting on my wig now because it's gone on for way too long. If you see that, then that's a sorry state of affairs if you've got a dog and you haven't fucking rubbed his inside leg with your foot because that's where he is. then it's a sorry state of affairs. It's getting on me wick, and that's what's making me mad. It's just getting on me wick now.
Getting on that subject, I'll make you laugh now. Then I was giving the dog a belly rub earlier. He kicked his leg out, and I touched his bits while my little lad was watching him. He turned and looked at me and went, "Dad, you've just touched his willy." Like, yeah, I didn't mean to.
Don't put it on YouTube then, you know what
honestly,
I mean?
the narrative on YouTube between me and Dave, I just thought, poor guy's never going to, like, you know. I listened to Dave once. I'll tell you this now, Dave. I listened to you once and saying you went into a boarding school, wherever you were, and actually, as an overview, you actually thought it was one of the best things that ever happened to you.
Yeah,
and I'm thinking, as being on the other side of that, being one of the staff, knowing that great feeling that I've achieved that for some kids as well, and hearing somebody say it back from a different situation, different school, whatever, and there's not many that go through a good boarding school. I won't say things don't happen.
It was a children's home.
Yeah. Well,
Couple of children's
mine
homes.
was a boarding school, but I worked on the extreme side of it as well. We had some what we call cottages, pods, and we worked with some extreme cases, but worked in the same situation. And to hear good people say good things about their experience, that it wasn't all great, but hell, I was having a good time. It was good. It was relaxed. I was getting 3 meals a day, a warm bed, people to talk to, people to play with, activities. And to hear people say that fills me with joy, because I know I've done that for other kids.
Do you know what helped me when I first went into that children's home? All the children were waiting at the door to greet me, yeah, and I knew 2 of them from school.
Yeah.
So that put me at ease straight away. Do you know what I mean? But at that time in my life, it's 100% what I needed. It got me away from the drugs. It got me away from the abuse at home.
Yeah.
It did me right. It did me right.
And it was the worst thing that some of the kids used to have to send back home once a fortnight, knowing you were sending them back to that shite.
I don't think enough support workers and people who do work in children's home and places like that, they don't get enough recognition for what they do.
I don't.
Because there's an awful lot of
25 years I did, and when there was a situation. For bringing it back to YouTube, there was a situation where Anton was like, "Yeah, you're fucking taking kids away." I've never taken the kids away. I've always worked in residential situations, and to further my career within that situation, I couldn't become a boss unless I got a degree in social work or the equivalent. So I had to get my degree. They were paying for it. We'll second you. We'll do it for you. I've never taken the kid away. I've lived on the other side, having to fight for my kids through the family courts, through social workers, So it really brutalizes me to listen to people crucify my career when they know nothing about it. I've had
it's like Dave when he makes sports.
An amazing career.
Mm.
And I have personally saved, well, within my team, probably about 30 or 40 kids, and that might not sound much in the run of things.
Oh, it is.
But those 30 or 40 kids are parents now. They're getting to be grandparents now, and so I saved them.
Man, you're all Nicky in my eyes and this side, right? You're all good, right? I just wish everyone else would see you the same as me, mate. You know what I mean? That's all. That's what it is.
No, the way.
It's a blessing.
You know why? Fly. Sorry to put in, but do you know why?
Yeah.
Because Nicky's got a strong opinion, and it's as simple as
that.
What I mean. People on this side of YouTube, and this is a fact, that do not like with people with opinions who stick to them opinions and speak out about it. They hate them, mate.
I am the same now as what I was in my job. I am firm but fair.
I say that about my kids. That I do. That's what I am with my kids. Firm but fair.
I have got to be fair at every junction, whether I think it's right or wrong. I still
right. So he's the
fair. card.
He's the difference, Nicky. He's an example of the difference, right? What I'm trying to get at. The other day, Dave, now we all know Dave took a step back because he was getting too involved. He had a few bad arguments online and whatever, and he said he made a thing of taking a step back, right? But the other day, I've seen Dave jump on a few pounds lately and say his bit, right? So he's getting dragged back into it in my eyes. And the other day, I texted him while he was on the panel. I'm not going to say who it was, and I said, Dave, just like leave it, mate. And he did. Then that's the difference, Nicky. He did. He stopped himself, whereas you are you saying you can't, or he stopped himself.
I absolutely no. I never lose my rag. I was really sad that the time that Dave. I hope you don't mind, Dave. When you took your wobble, when your missus was away and you're drunk and you're having a really bad weekend. I knew why you were having a bad weekend. I was really fucking worried about you. I was actually thinking, who the fuck knows his address? This is going wrong for him. Oh my God. But I couldn't say a word to him because at that point, everybody had kicked up such a storm about me and Dave. If I'd said something to him, he might have seen it as so negative. And I was like, this isn't going right. Please, somebody help him. Please stop encouraging him. Please, somebody. And because I knew exactly what Dave was expressing. And I was concerned for his well-being.
Right. So what about this then, Nicky? When you imagine you're Dave, right? And I'm thinking what you're thinking about Dave when you do a video or when you go on a panel. I'm thinking the same as what you were thinking about Dave. Does that make that right? Is that right or wrong? Do you know what I mean? I'm worried about the shit you're gonna get.
You're worried
like
about
you
the shit
saying.
I get. Don't worry about the shit I get because
You're saying that to me, but you've just said you worry about Dave, though. Do you want Dave to think for you to worry about him? But you can't help yourself. You can't help it, can you? You worry.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you know what I'm getting
at? I get that. I do. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what happens with people who like you. When you go on a panel, they think themselves, "Oh, Nicky, please, you're not going to do yourself any favours." But you still do it. Whereas I said that Dave the other day, and he stopped himself and he come off and he didn't do it. So it's that difference of just stopping.
What I was worried about was Dave was just going in at everybody. He just wanted to express something. He was just at the end of his tether. He was absolutely going on every channel, every time. You've not seen me like that, and you've not seen me lose it. What I come on to say, I think, is what I view and see. Yeah. I don't go, oh, you're fat slag. If you're not fat and you're not a slag, I'll just tell you what I don't like about you.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. But it's usually out if there's 100 people in the chat, maybe one person will agree with you. That's the problem, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's because people are scared. Sorry.
Yeah, so you've just like upset 99 people in the chat. That's what I mean.
The repercussions of saying what they want to say. I was concerned about the amount of alcohol with diabetes and the amount of sweets. That all equals to me having a 38-year-old alcoholic brother who I'm very glad has left this world. Don't get me wrong. And I don't care who criticizes me. Long story. Glad he's left this world. But he died of exactly that. Binge drinking.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And that's what I mean. If you need to go on a panel and tell somebody that, right, knowing that the grief you're going to get off it, then that is entirely up to you, right? But I'll understand it. I don't like it, but I'll understand it. But not many other people will. That's the problem.
Yeah, So I do get your moon, I do, but I would sooner he know that somebody's trying to tell him that he's putting his life at danger instead of his piss poor mates telling him, "Yeah, go and get another fucking litre of gin."
Yeah.
I have to go with what I think is fair.
A lot of people think the same, but they just don't.
Since then, there is now a few more people that are telling him not to binge drink. Whether that's from that or whether
Nikki,
they see it from themselves now.
Do you know what my advice would be to you, Nikki? You know what my advice would be to you, right? No lie. I would start another channel up, right, and get a voice changer so no one knows it's you, but you can still say exactly what you want, but no one knows it's you because you're not going to stop saying what you want. So next year's just going to be the same for you on YouTube, and like I just wish it wasn't.
Well, it isn't. It's going to be a lot different because I'm a bit like fucking Sparrow. There's a lot going on in the first 2 months of my life. One, I've got my mother coming up. Less time. You know, I'll just fade into insignificance. Because but I can't not be. I don't want to do a voice changer. If I've got a concern about somebody, or somebody is like I say, if I could clippity clip channels and do all that editing, I would have a fucking field day.
Exactly. No one would know you are.
I would call myself. This is what I'd call myself. So if there's ever a channel that comes on, don't. Contradiction in terms.
Exactly. Do it. Do it.
Contradiction in terms. It's unbelievable.
You know what? Do it, because if I only said a voice changer because if no one had heard your voice before, then use your own voice, right? But you'd be able to say exactly what you thought to exactly who you wanted to, and people love that. But it's because no one knows who you are, and then you don't have the grief, but you can still say what you want. You know what I mean? Just a thought.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to have to wrap it up there, lad. Anyway, Nikki and Dave, because Daryl's on now.
Dave,
sure Nikki will be in the chat.
By anything.
Yeah, no, I haven't.
Good lad. I think you've worked really hard for the last 17 years, just staying off the stuff and bringing up your family. And I know that the last year has been hard for you, and I've never not supported that. It's just went a little bit wrong in the middle.
Yeah, 100%.
Thank you.
Every day I watch you work hard, lad, and fair credit to you.
Thank you, Nikki. I appreciate that.
Nice one, Nikki.
Anyway, I'll get you out. Ciao for now.
No,
stay safe, people, and I'll see you all over Daryl's. Nice one. It's been another mad one. Started off nuts. Anyone who's seen the first one, but if you haven't seen it, go and watch it back, right? Because the first half an hour was quite good. We had a bit of praising, a bit of taking the piss, and we had that little blip in between. Blame the laptop on that one yet again. But big love, man, to everyone who come in there. And Nikki's not everyone's cup of tea, but you know, got to respect her. She jumps on the panel. I'm trying my best to make a difference without falling out with her. You know, I don't want to fall out with anyone, but yeah, respect, Bomber. Mick Johnson, have a good night, mate. Whatever you do, and you're probably working because you work too hard, you bro. IXP, yeah. Daniel, big love there, brother. Genghis, mate, massive respect to Genghis, you know, because he showed a lot of love to this channel, Genghis, and I know Mrs. Moon's a big fan. Yeah, Genghis is all day, man. And I appreciate everyone coming in. Jim, Slim as always, Diane, all legends, man. And might be able to squeeze one more live in before Christmas Day. So if I don't see anyone, have a good Christmas. And I'll be over in Daryl's. See you all later, people.